everyone, and here we begin a third episode of Dungeons and Dragons. And I am your host, Matthew Mercer. No, I'm definitely not. Scott, coming for another episode, third episode of the Dragons and Dungeons, in which a group of us from the 8th Dragon Squadron play some Dungeons and Dragons. Simple enough. Last week, we unfortunately didn't have that many of our players with us available at the time. Temple, Evelyn, was unfortunately covering a shift, and Diana, who is playing Talar, my apologies, she had a convention that she was going to and a pride parade that she was attending as well. So unfortunately, she was not able to attend. However, everyone is here, everyone is ready to go, so we shall make a very swift transition over to them on Discord, and we will continue the game where we left off. So we go, which scene is it? Is it that one there?
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Right, are we good to continue? Or was I interrupting something?
Totally interrupting.
Totally interrupting. Cool. There's a picture of Farscape here. Is that an RPG?
No, that is a exclusive Barnes & Noble limited edition 20th anniversary metallic gold vinyl.
Ooh, OST. Very, very nice.
Yes, it was limited to only 1,500, and I managed to snag one of them.
Very nice. Very nice indeed.
Well, yes.
How much did that sting you?
$25.
Yeah, that's not that bad. Right, so, continuing where we left off. 2 weeks ago, you had finished off your encounter with the unknown assailants who was attacking someone down in the alleyway next to the Topaz Blade, the inn at which you were staying. Upon intercepting a few of the individuals, realizing that they were assailants from the Myriad, you realized that their target was actually Joga, whom you had teamed up with in order to lure these members out to try and gain some information. Upon defeating most of them, leaving one of them alive, you managed to ascertain some information about the Myriad, being that the owner of the tavern of the Topaz Blade, Tsuri, the dwarven individual who you'd been made business with and had been speaking to on the regular since your arrival in Stilben, is actually what is known as the Speaker, the one who receives messages from the caravan of the Myriad as they travel and distributes their orders throughout the town or city that they are currently trying to occupy. Not wanting to draw too much attention to yourselves, you decided to gather more your gear. Most of you decided to go out the window and stay that way to not draw attention. Victorlas, you just didn't give a fuck and just waltzed through the inn, maybe trying to draw some attention, see if there was any kind of reaction from Tsuri, which there was none. And upon exiting, you all decided that you would leave through the southern gate, the western gate, not southern gate, western gate out of Stilben, back out into the forest land where you would camp for the evening, so as to not draw any attention to yourself, and in the event that you are followed, you would be leading any potential pursuers directly to the Clasp's HQ. Nehtari and Victorlas, while you guys were resting, Temple and Talar taking the first watch, you had a very, very strange dream in which some entity had drawn you and two other individuals into some strange pocket dimension where it asked you to fight to the death with each other and the other individuals. Upon both of you falling victim to another individual's summoned entities, you both woke up startled and out of breath, just almost experiencing your actual death, but come to the realization that it was only a dream, but might not have been a dream, as you both realized you experienced the exact same thing. And that's where we will pick up at the moment.
So am I currently asleep then?
No, you're all currently awake. You and Temple were watching over. You were pulling the first watch of the evening, in case anyone decided to come over and say hi and try and stab you in the neck while you slept.
Okay, so it's still evening, like middle of the night then.
Yeah, it's still. It's, if anything, it'd be like very early morning, like it'd be like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, roughly.
Okay.
Had we all taken a long rest at the end of the last session? Because all my stuff's all maxed.
Victoria, yes, everyone can take a long rest. So max health, all spell slots and everything, all your feats returned to you. Talar, you don't currently have you haven't currently gone through a long rest, but I will still allow you to take one because I'm assuming you and Temple are going to shut down their awake and then get your have Nethtar and Victoria take watch and then continue on.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And in the meantime, I'd like to see about setting up some sort of little fire or something to, or if there's a fire already, I'll set my egg next to it.
Yeah, there is a fire in place.
Breakfast?
It's
No.
1 o'clock in the morning. Talar, you're going to take your rest at the moment, correct?
Yes.
Cool. So Temple.
I'll keep an eye on it for you.
As I can still see and hear with full acuity during a rest, I'll just be on
Yeah,
watch
I
and
was
be
going to say
rested.
that you're going to take your inanimate state and stay on watch while technically resting. Okay. With that, let me grab my dice tray because I've not actually gotten that up. First roll of the evening. Let's go. If I can get this mat, I can just go over there. Okay. Cool.
Just exploded.
No, not quite. You can hear some Victoria Lass and Neftari with your. Wait, why is that the wrong way around? There it is. Yeah, 16 and 18. Yeah. Passively, you guys don't even need to hear anything with them. That needs to be up there. Everything that's going on around you, you can hear all the wildlife, like the rustling of the trees, the wind blowing through, but there really isn't anything going on. And after your 8 hours of rest, it's about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. The sun's high, kind of high in the sky, gentle warm glow, and comes to a new day of your adventure.
Hey Vic, you got any food?
I've got some rations and stuff, reasonably fresh. I'll hand over a decent portion of rations to Neftari.
I'm pretty sure you all have rations in your in your kit that you can use. Yeah, Victoria, unless you've got 10. Nathtari, how many rations do you have? Yeah, Nathtari, you've got 10 as well. So you've all got everyone who needs to eat will have rations in their backpack to eat, so you don't starve on the road. So those of you who do need to, you're able to set up your rations in the morning. It's simple, like dried foods, dried meats and such, and a small bit, basically a flask of water to go alongside it to wake you up first thing in the morning.
You've just got the standard rations as well. No proper meat or beer.
No, just your standard rations.
What do you reckon?
Head
Should we
back
have
into
one in,
store.
or do you want to get back to the town?
Well, I mean, hunting shouldn't be too difficult, but by the time we've caught, bled, cooked, surely it's going to be better to go back into town and find a bar.
Have you tried
That's-
not eating? I do remarkably well.
You
It's
got me
easier
at
than you
bar.
think.
Let's go back to
I
food
think-
school.
We're talking about beer for breakfast, I think. Yeah.
I'm fine with my rations.
I'm gonna take a seat next to Talar and just, as subtly as possible, give her a nudge and pass the egg back to her.
I'm just not sure about food that doesn't have blood dripping from it. Well,
Well, sorry, do you want me to go and hunt you
Okay.
down a rabbit or something?
no, well, nibble these crackers. Can I
Okay.
hear anything that sounds tasty?
Roll me a perception check. $12. You can hear the rustling of birds through the trees. You can hear the very soft pattering of footsteps, which could be from rabbits or hares. Every so often, in the distance, you can hear like the heavier footfalls of hooves. That could be from a buck or a doe.
You'll have to teach me how to use that bow one day.
Yeah, although I'm probably not the best teacher, but sure.
That could be dangerous.
Oh, it will definitely be dangerous.
Okay, so what would you guys like to do?
Well, plan for the day then, people. Are we heading back into town?
Yeah, we need to go see the Clasp.
I think
Probably
we
should
still
have done
have
that
some
last time.
items that might be available now over at the I don't remember any.
You do remember though, Talar, that at the tailor that you went to, you did have a couple of things, a couple of orders that were put in place that would take several days. She did say to you that she would get everything ready for you all to collect at the same time. Neftari's upgrades to his cloak would take at least 3 days, so you still have a couple of days before that'll be ready to go.
Okay.
Is there something we could be doing out here in the wilderness?
We could hunt.
I mean, I'm happy to hunt, but there are safer ways of gathering food. I'd really like to get on with our mission, to be fair.
Well, I guess we've got to head back and check into HQ. Hopefully nothing bad's happened overnight.
Well, I think it's quite important we updated them with what we found out. He left before we could kill him. You know, he was kind of battered and bruised and doesn't know what we know.
Well, it doesn't look like we were followed here, so I'm assuming we'll be safe to retrace our steps and see what's what.
Should I cast the movement? Silent running.
Pass without a trace, you mean?
Yes.
Yes. You can cast that one if you want.
That will last about an hour. Come out here on horse. How far from town are we?
You travelled out a couple of hours to. You travelled far enough out so that anyone who may have been following you would assume that you've just left left Stilben and have no intention of coming back, but not so far that it would take you a very long time to return.
I'll cast pass without trace when we get to just under an hour off the town.
Mhm.
The spell only lasts for an hour. I would like to sneak
No
back
problem.
into town and into the Clasp HQ.
Cool.
Understood.
So you travel, you head back, spend a couple of hours following the trail, getting back towards the western gate of Stilben, where before you come into the line of sight, Nithar, you cast your Pass Without a Trace. Everyone has a +10 to their stealth checks. If you are wanting to stealth your way through to get to the Clasp HQ without being seen, I would like everyone who is stealthing to roll a stealth check.
Seems sensible.
Sure.
Temple, you will be at disadvantage for this.
Bump, bump, bump.
Cool, natural 1.
I'm going to assume I tripped over something.
Let's take a
I'm
look
not
here.
awake yet.
So 22, 14, 21, 23. Okay. Oh, you're all actually surprisingly quiet. You managed to weave your way through the alleyways of Stilben, managing to get to the primary entranceway that Joga had led you to before. Everyone starts piling in. Victorious, you're the last one in. Just quickly gesturing everyone inside as you kind of glance around. No one seems to have noticed you. And as you guys are starting to descend down to the underbelly of Stilben, you just hear a as Victorious very loudly just slams the gate closed behind and just slowly lets go before turning around.
Sorry, got this thing.
You good, David?
Yep. The phone rang. It's Mem's next broadband off.
Ah, okay. Right, so peering around. Even though there was that loud crash, no one seems to have noticed you as you begin your descension down into the depths of Stilben. It's about 15 minutes of a walk as you try and retrace your steps, but you do manage to make your way into the down to the Clasp, where you can see the dark hooded figures of the Clasp members are currently going about their day-to-day business.
We should probably track down Joga.
Oh, I like this ambient music.
It's a little. I spotted a nice YouTube channel, and I'm just going to plug it just now. Anyone who's looking for ambient music, a friend of mine actually linked it in their Discord, and I saw it and stole it. So Cromer, thank you, but I'm stealing it. It's called the Sword Coast Soundscapes. They put up like royalty-free and non-copyrighted music, which is just for ambience for RPG games and stuff. So stolen, it's mine now. I'm using it. Anyway, you guys enter the Clasp. You take a look around, and as you make your way through, there's several of the class members are at the bar. Some are going about doing their day-to-day business. You can see some at the table, one empties a sack, and you can hear the coins clatter out, and some large golden objects just drop down. Closer inspection, you can see that these seems to be pilfered statues and decorative items that they seem to have stolen. The group of them just start dividing up all the gold pieces and try and make it seem like they're getting an even split. Are you guys just wanting to head straight over to Joga's office area, or are you guys going to wait?
Well, I'm going to just head over to the bar and equip myself with an ale. Sorry?
Right behind you. Breakfast beer.
I'll
it's
follow
nearly
along
lunchtime
behind.
now.
Okay. So you guys head
But
over
without
to
the ale.
head over to the bar. There's an individual of unknown race. You can tell just by the build that this individual is male, but there is like a half mask up to their nose, and their hood covers over just to the top of their forehead, so you can't actually see any of their facial features other than their eyes. What can I do for you?
Well, we'll call this brunch, shall we? Yeah, two ales if you have them.
Come on,
Talar?
right up.
I'm fine with just a water. I don't drink much, you know that.
1 water and 2 ales, coming right up. And pulls out 2 quite large tankards and one relatively large cup. Fills 1 cup with from a very jewel inset gold plated jug, and you just slowly pours the water out and passes it over to you, Talar, before you just hear as he actually taps open a barrel, not a bar, barrel, and you hear him pour the ale before 2 tankards drop down on the table and push towards you. Enjoy.
Thank you. What's the
Thank
damage
you.
for that?
Nothing for members. You should know that. And he kind of
Yeah,
just
I should.
looks away turns away from you and moves over to another class member who's kind of waved him down.
How much do I see food as well if it's free? Honestly, go down right well right now.
I need to turn you up, David. You're really quiet at the moment. There you go. Nathalie, could you just speak for me for a second?
Testing 1 2.
Yeah, it's much better. Thank you. Just had to turn you up. My apologies. Okay, so you guys just having your ale and passing the time?
Yeah, I'm gonna just scout around and see if I can see Joga anywhere.
Okay, as you glance around, you can see some of the the group that's at the table managed to split up the small change. It's just the large items that they're now debating over. A couple of more class members have come in and are now counting through all of their stolen goods to see how much they've made. A couple of people sit down at the bar and order a drink themselves, but so far there's no sign of Joga.
Okay. Everything seems calm and quiet. Nobody's kind of bothered by anything. Everyone seems to
No.
be going about their normal business.
Everything seems to be absolutely fine from what you can tell. You know what? Roll me an insight check, Victorlas. Unnatural 20. Everything looks calm. Everything seems alright, but you can almost sense there is a hint of tension to the air. It could be that something's happened, or it might just be the fact that Joga returned from being attacked. But you're not too sure. But there is a hint of tension in the air.
I'm gonna, guys. I don't know if you want to stay put, but I'm gonna go and check on our scaly friend.
I will remain here.
Look like down my pint and. Oh, come here!
Then I'll stay with Talar for now.
Yeah, just keep your eyes peeled, everyone.
Will do.
Okay.
I'm gonna
You're
make
gonna
my way over
head
to
over
the
to the
hut.
door, yeah?
Yeah.
Vic, I can't help thinking we should have come back earlier to report this, you know.
Yeah.
The Myriad have done a runner overnight.
They've done a runner. Our job's complete. We can catch up with them elsewhere.
As Victorlas, as you're escorting Natari over to Joga's door, you're about to put your hand to the knob to open the door when it actually folds inwards before you touch it. Joga is actually there at the door, covered in some bandages. Like some of them are blood stained, but he's currently looking behind him. But we will have to come to some sort of arrangement. I will be waiting for some of my associates. Victorilas, speak of the devil and he shall appear. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Good, after what happened the other night. I'm surprised I haven't seen you any sooner, but of course, you can never be too careful.
Well,
Please.
we didn't want to risk being followed and give away your location, so we thought it was best to lie low for the night.
Of course. Please, actually, it would be perfect if you would join me. And I see your two companions at the bar. Please, collect them. I have another proposition for you, if you do not mind.
I'll get him.
Okay, I'll head in and wait for Neftari to come back.
Okay, so Neftari comes over to Talaran Temple and lets you know
Talar,
that.
what I was saying is we should really get you one of these hats. I mean, it really would look absolutely fabulous on you. Please, try it on. Try it on.
No, I'm fine. I don't need a hat.
No, I
I
insist.
really don't.
I'm
No.
gonna put the hat on Talar.
No.
Okay, go ahead and
No,
roll me a
get it
strength
out.
check. And Talar, if you're wanting to resist, you can roll either a strength or dexterity to counter it. That's a 25 for strength.
A
so you
check?
Can, yes, you can either roll strength check to push him away, try and push him away from you, or you can roll a dex check to see if you can avoid him because it's a contested check. Yeah, no, like
Cool.
you try and dodge out of the way, but all of a sudden this bright, just giant, vibrant hat is just dumped on your head and just forced down upon you.
She just kind of slumps in the chair and she can't see anything because this hat is like down to her nose. And
Talar, I'm sorry. It just doesn't suit you like it does me.
Just
I know
takes
that.
it off.
You can
and
take it off now.
Resets it on his own head. Gives it a little just run your fingers across the lip and fluff up the feather to make sure it looks really nice. At that,
Hey,
it's
nice
about
hat,
at that
too.
point, Neftari shows up.
The boss wants to speak to us all, so let's go.
Saved by the bell. She
I don't care.
takes another drink of water, sets it down on the bar, and stands up. And she's holding the leather pouch in her hand up close to her chest again.
Okay.
And
So
starts heading over.
you all head over. As Joga is there waiting at the door for you as you all enter. Neftari and Victorilas, can I get you guys to roll me? What would this be? Go ahead and roll me a history check, actually. This would probably be the best thing for this. Uh, 13 and a 6. Okay. So, as you guys enter the room, Coralina, if you would like to go ahead and describe your character, please.
Okay, well, I can definitely do that. My character is very slight and petite, standing at only about 5'2", 5'3". The hair is cropped short, but it is white. Her eyes are also white as well. And the skin is actually a very, not really a robin's egg blue, but almost like a sky-ish blue. It's kind of pale.
Okay.
And of course, I have Sir Barkley perched on my shoulder.
Of course.
Always on the left one.
Always on your left shoulder. Neftari, as you glance over to this new individual, you give her a strange look. You think you recognize her, but you just can't place it at all. Victorilas, you look over to her. Not really sure. You've seen this person before, and then you see Sir Barkley, the Bloodhawk, on the individual shoulder, just ruffle his feathers and look over to you, and you just... This is the person from the dream. This is the person you fought. Coralina, can I actually have you roll me a history check as well?
Of course.
Now, for this, while you're rolling this, for the sake of Temple and Talar, Coralina is currently running a class, a subclass, and race that is not available on D&D Beyond without going through a paywall. So I've allowed her to create a character sheet on Roll20, which I have access to at the moment. So she's still going to be rolling with Avery, but she's just not going to be doing like using the check command. She's just going to be rolling flat numbers, unfortunately. And that reminds me, I actually need to grab that from. I'm just going to pop that up there.
Do I recognize the animal on the shoulder?
Go ahead and roll me a nature check. Let's see if you do. A 15. Do you recognize it as like as you've gone through some of your books looking at demons and beasts in the past at the Silverdrake Keep? You recognize this as a bloodhawk. It's mainly sometimes it can be used as a familiar of sorts. It's used in hunting. It's a very territorial but very protective.
I'm just gonna lean over to Neftari. Not food.
This actually earns a slight chuckle out of Talar as she's standing there studying this new individual.
You hear the door shut and actually latch behind you all, as Joga just kind of looks around at you all, walks behind his desk, and then takes a seat. Now, back to our order of business, everyone. This is Coralina. She is here for, well, her own reasons. If she wants to tell you, she can. But she's here for my aid. And I'm going to provide that to her, so long as she's able to assist me, which means assisting you. Now, Coralina, as I have made you aware, the Myriad is currently encroaching on our territory in Stilben, and this fine group of misfits are aiding me in gathering information, and hopefully they're going to help me get rid of the Myriad for good. They've come across some information, which I'm sure you're going to tell me now after you had your way with that young man last night. And once we've ascertained what their next step is, you will assist them in that regard. And if your service is to the expectation of mine, then our deal will be followed through, and I will guarantee you my protection.
Okay, well, we've got some information, but what you been doing with some young man last night?
Well, last night was the night where you guys interrogated the Myriad member who was left alive in the alleyway, who you almost tortured and had him screaming in fear and crying his eyes out.
Oh, I thought you meant Coralina. Coralina.
No, he was referring to you, what you guys did to that young man last night.
Oh, we got some good info.
I'm sure you did. Please, share with the group.
Okay, it turns out, you know that hotel, well, the inn we were stopping.
Memory serves, that would be the Topaz Blade.
Well, Myriad's contact in Stilben is, I believe the orders are being relayed through the landlord of the Topaz Blade.
The dwarven fellow.
That's the one.
Very interesting. I had a few of my men do a little background check on him and all the other tavern owners. They would be the most prime suspects for a contact, since they would come into contact with many people coming and going from their establishment. But
It's the
it's
caravan.
clean.
the Myriad's caravan that's hidden away. He's in direct contact with them. I think. Did they say the orders come from the caravan to him, or was it vice versa? He reports back. I think so. The caravan sends out people. So surely you just need to intercept them and follow them back. But I can't imagine it'll be easy. They'll be good, won't they?
Very interesting. Okay. Well, it will be down to yourselves, of course, as you are honorary members of the Clasp. You do not do what I tell you to do. You have no need to do such things. All I request is that you speak to this dwarven fellow. Whether you do it through persuasion, intimidation, or
Torture.
torture.
Preferably not.
If it resorts to that, then by all means. I do not care how the information is obtained, just as long as the information is obtained. Coralina, you will help them in that regard, and if the information is sufficient, our deal will be upheld. And while you are within the walls of Stilben, you will be guaranteed my protection and the protection of the Clasp. However, my influence does only stretch so far. If you are to leave the walls of Stilben, I will not be able to guarantee your protection.
Well, every little bit helps, right?
Optimistic. I like it. So, I do not know what you intend to do now, but feel free to discuss. And
Is there any particular specific information you would like us to try and discover? Do you need locations of any specific things or people?
well, any of their members, the location, the homes of any of their members, the location of where their caravan is heading to next, and their tertiary target, primary being Stilben. Their secondary is where they're traveling to now. Their tertiary target will be where they're going after. So if you can get their next few targets, so that we may be able to cut them off, that would be very valuable information.
I wonder if they know we're working with you. That's the thing. We kind of walked out, and there was a big, lots of dead Myriad members in the back alley, and we left. You don't think that would look suspicious?
If memory serves, you've already been attacked by members of the Myriad at the Relic Hunter Guild. So they already know who you are. And if they were aware of our agreement, of our little trap, and ambushed me, I would be able to assume that they know that you're working with ourselves.
Right, so we can't exactly get them to talk to us, can we?
Do you suspect that would deter them from attacking us or make it more likely? I personally don't mind fighting them. I mean, we'd only end up fighting something else, and there'd been a bit of a pushover so far.
I think it would be down to the Myriad members' individual choices. The Myriad themselves probably wouldn't care if they attacked you. But
oh God, why did we let that one go last night? We should have just murdered him.
No.
Well, I might have kind of let our little dwarven friend know that we're onto him anyway, so could be tricky.
well, if you have done that, it might be best suited for you to get out there and get information from him before he leaves, don't you think?
Yep, let's not go in stealthily. Let's go in and cause havoc.
That might
Kill
not
everything
be
that
the...
moves
No.
and torture the truth out of him.
You have a thing for torture lately.
Tell him that guy's got some of those eggs. I sold him a load, remember? He's going to be a dangerous individual if we let him live.
No, Tori, that little escapade that we had, has it given you a bit of bloodlust?
Don't know.
And I'm gonna look over to Coralina. Nice bird, by the way.
Thank you.
Betty's handy in a fight.
Sometimes.
Does your Bloodhawk have a name?
Oh, yes, he's my loyal and trusted advisor, Sir Barkley.
I shall call
Say
him
hello,
Clark.
Barkley.
Barkley just kind of like clicks his beak towards you all, but just looks down at Coralina.
Still early for him.
Oh, I understand. Neftari's the same. We should get your Bloodhawk some beer.
Oh, jeez. Talar just kind of face palms behind everyone else.
I've
Why
never
face
tried
palm?
that.
The low bodily mass is probably going to mean he can get drunk a lot more cheaply.
Can you bird a fight or what?
He's mostly used to help see.
My goodness, I had no idea you were blind. I'm so sorry.
No, so is the larger gentleman with the very flamboyant hat, what's he made out of?
He is actually roll me a nature check, please.
Yeah.
Seven. He is. Yeah, you have no idea what this guy is. If he's a man in a suit of armor, or if he's some sort of automaton. But you can see that his body seems to be made of like interlocking plates of metal with some wooden components at the joints.
Further investigation required. But no, I see just fine. No, Sir Barkley helps with seeing things really far away.
Like big, scary fart monsters.
No.
Right, monsters.
Presumably, it's some sort of scouting band. That is.
Coralina, go ahead and roll me a history check, please. Yeah, like there's, you feel a sudden like pang to the back of your head, like a deep rumbling of a voice that was in a almost forgotten dream. And as you glance over to the very hairy looking potential half-elven individual and the elf with the unnaturally dark skin complexion, you come to the realization that these were the two individuals that were in your dream from the night before.
Am I seated?
You are currently seated.
I bolt out of my chair and I go with a beeline to the opposite wall.
Oh, bye. Nice knowing you.
She didn't leave the room. The room's locked.
No, I'm still in the office. Just there's a shock.
Coralina, what seems to be the problem?
Something
look-
fighting?
I've seen these people before. Well, at least I point to the very hairy, elven-looking individual and the other one. Especially those two.
Funny, I had the same feeling myself.
By the way, they aren't fart monsters.
Well, at least we're on the same page.
Am I missing
Familiar.
something?
Would someone yes, please. Someone care to explain?
I'd like to know as well what's going on.
I had a dream last night. It was weird. I thought I'd eaten
Look.
something.
Neftari, I'm going to stop you right there. Whenever you start explaining your dreams, it gets way too weird, way too personal, and there are far too many details. Can you please?
Let him talk.
I'll tell you what. How about I tell you about my dream? And given that I don't sleep,
That
pretty
is
unusual.
a very good point, Victorlas. Temple and Talar, go ahead and roll me nature checks. That's 2 nat 20s. Jesus Christ. In a row. And then Temple, you're aware like that Victorlas needs very little amount of sleep, and he does it in a weird. He sleeps in a very weird position, but as far as you're aware, he's asleep.
Kind of like how I sleep, but with yoga.
Yeah, basically. No, Talar, you know that Victorlas doesn't fall asleep. He just takes it's just a meditative stance that he enters, which allows him to rest, but he's not unconscious. He's still aware of things happening around him. For him to have actually fallen asleep and be dreaming, that is a very, very strange occurrence for an elf.
And at this knowledge, Talar is looking at him with very wide eyes. She is shocked. You dreamt?
As far as I know, I slept. I've never experienced anything like it. I can only imagine that it was the force of some magical or arcane force that made it happen, but me and Natari shared the same dream.
Oh god, yeah, there was a fart monster.
It's not a fart monster!
That's been in the nest of orcs or something.
Victorella, tell your dream.
Well, we found ourselves in a citadel of sorts. There was myself, there was Neftari. There was our new friend over here. And another knight of some kind. And we were put to a trial. We were put to a fight to the death.
She killed me.
It was bizarre, but the entity that had brought us there demanded that we fight. And the alternatives looked even more lethal. So fight we did.
Wasn't there a reward for winning that fight? Who won?
Well, it certainly wasn't me.
I did.
What did you win?
Can I roll an insight check on these individuals?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Was it treasure? I think
Even
we
if
should
it was,
split.
I don't think she's going to give it to you.
Oh my god, that's another nat 20. So what are you trying to gain from reading these individuals?
Do they seem trustworthy or are they super sketch?
They, from your current interaction with them, you've only really been speaking to them for a couple of minutes. You can almost feel the connection between the four of them. They're really close friends. They seem like they've gone through for quite a bit together. And if time permits you to spend some time with them and develop a potential friendship, they could be great allies. But at the moment, you're even with a nat 20, only time will tell.
Plus, you're looking at a group of people adorned in ridiculous cloaks, and one of them's massive and got a stupid pink hat with a feather in it.
And then he put it on me.
It's actually a tactical advantage in battle. You see, as the biggest, tankiest one that can take the most hits, it's designed to draw in the crowd, to draw attention to myself, while my friends here deliver killing blows. While I flourish in style. I'm going to do it well.
Go ahead
I
and
like
roll me a
this
performance
strategy.
check.
Talar is face palming again. You can see her wings kind of sag slightly.
As Temple does a twirl, let's see, 8 cardinal directions.
Oh god.
He takes a stumble, and as you reach out and you manage to stop yourself by managing to take a large chunk out of Joga's desk with your hand. And he just kind of looks over to you, and you look up at him. You're going to pay for that.
You know, I've never failed at that before.
Well, there is a first for everything. I'm going to
bust up laughing.
I'm going to have this fixed, and I'm going to send you the bill, Temple. So, I hope you have some money.
God, he doesn't carry money.
I'd smile at Neftari, but I'm physiologically incapable of smiling, so I'm just going to look at Neftari.
I'll pay for that.
Oh, no. He's going to.
Temple doesn't know what money.
If I find out,
gives all his money to us.
If I find out that you have passed over any money to him for the cost of this, I will not accept it.
What's the table made of? How does it look? What's the quality of the table?
It is a really fine-looking mahogany table.
Why don't I bring you back a better table as a replacement for this
If you
one,
can
which
manage
now
to
has a
do
crack in it?
such a thing, which looks even more pristine than what this one is, then by all means, go right ahead.
I can't
Otherwise-
wait. The last.
You'll be paying for it.
You know what?
Okay, yeah,
I'm gonna find another one of those trees. Remember Neftari? That time I intimidated a forest and one of the trees got up and ran away. I'm gonna find one of those trees and make the finest enchanted table.
You're going to kill a tree for a table.
Isn't
That
that how
sounds a
tables
bit-
are made?
No.
I knew there was something else we needed to do while we were in the forest.
Not those
Intimidate
kinds of
trees?
Yep.
We'll remember that for next time. Someone make a note that we need to acquire a fine table.
Tree.
Heal the table. Yep.
Okay, so
Quick side question. Was I there when Temple built the chair? I don't remember if I was there for that one or not. I mean,
yeah,
like, character-wise.
that was just after the Hallows Pass. It was just after the dungeon of Hallows Pass that you made that table, where you went and intimidated the forest, and a tree got up and ran away. So yes, Talar, you would have been there for that.
So you're going to make a table like you made that chair, huh?
Oh no, I'm going to pay someone who's actually good at carpenting to do it. I'm not that stupid. I only do things I'm good at.
DM, while this conversation was going on, I would have reached into my bag, ferreted around for 1 to 2 seconds before producing the small card that I was given.
Okay. I will need you guys to be on roll 20 if you're not there already.
Of course I am.
Where is it? Sorry, I need to go to my handouts here. There we go. There we go. If, let's see, in players' journals, can I just do all players? Yes, I can. Save changes. And show to players. There you are. It should now be on your roll 20, and it should be there on screen for everyone else.
I've seen interesting cards before like that. Yeah, I drew some from a deck, and terrible things happen.
Now, the scripture on the card reads, "He who calls upon the favor of the tormentor shall be granted an opportunity to rewrite fate itself."
That's interesting. Is that like a wish type thing?
I don't know. I haven't had much time to really look into it. I've been busy.
Do I recognize it? Is it similar at all to anything else I've seen?
You've never seen this thing before in your life. You know what? Actually, Temple, roll me a. What would this be? Roll me an Arcana check. A 1 with a -1. A 0. Yeah.
Ouch.
No, you have no clue what this card is. You've seen playing cards, you've seen the deck of many things, but you've never seen something like this before in your life.
Is it possible I would have seen it before, or something
Pretend
similar?
like I know what it is.
No.
Well, you could probably swap that for a couple of beers at least.
Oh no, I'm keeping this.
Be very careful what you do with that.
Is that your reward? Was it?
I woke up with it.
Okay. Do you have any idea what that thing was that brought us to that place?
As I've said, I've been a little bit indisposed before coming here, so I haven't had much time to do some light reading.
Okay. Maybe we add that to the list as well. Bit of light reading.
He who calls upon the favor of the tormentor. Maybe the guy who took us there was the tormentor. He did torment us a bit.
It certainly fits his style.
Well, maybe. And I'll slip it back into my bag.
Okay. So, what are you guys going to do?
So, guys, who wants to go trash a pub?
Yeah, I was just wondering, is that the best way to do it? I mean, maybe we try and
It
sneak
might be
in.
best to not draw too much attention. Don't just barge in and, you know, we could get a lot of people against us at that point.
If he knows we're after him, there are going to be lots of people in that establishment protecting him, assuming he hasn't already left. Although
say go in calmly.
What if we blew the place up and then looked for his body afterwards?
Well, you're not going to
Then
get
we're
much
not gonna get
information out of him if you kill him. Now are you, Natari? Think.
the way I see it, we have
Talar
two
points at
options.
him.
We have one of our more sneaky party members, looking at you, Victoralis, I suppose, get in there while he's asleep, or we do it the Caped Crusaders way, and, well, we just go in there.
I mean, are you just looking to look and see what he's doing?
We want to know how he's communicating with this caravan, I suppose. He might have something in his office, you know, that tells us what he's doing. On the other hand, yes, we might, I guess, need to interrogate him, but I'd rather find the information than kill them straight away.
Yeah, the last one we tortured to try and get... Well, not the last one. The one before that we tortured to try and get some information out of. They preferred to die than tell us anything. And it was horrible. Brutal.
If you remember incorrectly, the fledgling that we quote-unquote tortured last time was simply one of the people who fought with us. And was unlucky enough to lose. We got an awful lot of information out of him, actually. I think really it just depends on the person. The hardened, more well-trained members of that gang aren't going to tell us anything.
Well,
I
he's
would
high up.
imagine the dwarf man would be one of these people, given that he's in a position of power.
Yeah, he doesn't ascend through the ranks without being pretty good, I suppose, or pretty loyal.
Or very charismatic.
Which begs the question, what would cause a man like that to tell his secrets? What's he got
It
to
doesn't
lose?
matter because I've already formulated a plan. I'm going to go and have an arm wrestling match with someone in the pub. I'm going to cause a scene with my incredible strong powers of strong. And then you sneak into the man's office or back room and see if you can find any info. Doesn't that sound
Kill
like
some
fun? No, no killing, just causing a ruckus.
Joga kind of like abruptly stands up and walks over to the door. You hear the click as he unlocks it and pulls the door open before turning to you. Frankly, I do not care how you do it. Just get it done. Now, get out of my office.
Always a pleasure.
Always.
Straight out.
As you're walking past Victorious, kind of like you kind of falter just in front of Joga just for a few moments, and he just gives you a curt nod for kind of shoving you out the door. Everyone, out now.
Okay. No need for shoving.
Talar glances back just briefly at him and then continues out the door.
As the door closes behind us, I'm just going to stop and look up our new friend, up and down. You need a cape.
door hasn't closed yet.
You need a cape.
As Joga kind of like, as you lock eyes with him, Talar, he kind of just like, almost like half closes his eyes towards you as he kind of looks you up and down, and then he gives you a nod as well before he closes the door behind him, and you hear the distinct as he locks the door behind him.
Well, if you're looking to get in, I may have a friend that can help to get into, a locked door. Maybe.
Temple can sort lock doors.
No.
Right.
You don't need to break down doors.
Let's.
Oh, no, he sneaks in.
Yeah, when I left that place, there was no one around. There was no one to be seen. We don't even know if he's still there. At least we should check whether he's actually there before we storm in.
Or perhaps we get me a disguise and I cause a ruckus.
Well, I think
No.
you causing a ruckus is going to happen, whatever. But before we waste our time, should we not check that the man's actually where we think he is?
I agree with that.
Well, does he know what you guys look like?
Oh yeah.
Well, if you can show me where it is, either myself or Sir Barkley can go in.
That's an idea. You could ask him about the omelets. I sold him some eggs off some pretty nasty beasties. He said he was going to make them, cook them, but I now actually fear, he made some high up with him. Myriad, he might actually try to use them for something else.
Oh, what kind of eggs?
Oh, I forget what the creature were called. It was pretty big and
It was a
nasty.
Hydra.
Yeah,
Hydra.
they were Hydra eggs.
Do I know what a Hydra is?
Go ahead and roll me a nature check.
Talar's shifting a little bit uncomfortably, and
It had lots of tentacles and things and heads, and it was a nasty.
18. Yeah, you know that Hydra is a very large monstrosity of a creature. It naturally has 5 heads, and should one of those heads be decapitated, after a short period of time, 2 new heads grow in its place until it could potentially have hundreds of heads.
You fought one of those things?
Yes, its necks. Its necks were very squishy.
We fought
Quite
2 of
easy
those
to
things.
decapitate.
2 of them and nicked its eggs, which I made a very good profit on as well.
Just hope they don't hatch.
Well, I don't know. The thing is, the order for the eggs, I think it was going to a necromancer or something. The guy who originally told us to go and rescue his friends, but I sold him to what I thought was a chef, and now I find out he's actually a high up member of the Myriad. Could be bad, maybe.
Tori, what can you turn yourself into?
Whatever you want, maybe.
Maybe later, but for now, I'm thinking if we are going to approach the place and try and be a little sneaky.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go into the bar as a horse, but I could turn into a rat or something, maybe?
I'm wondering
Mouse?
about a companion for Coralina here. A dog,
Do you want a cat?
cat,
Yeah,
something like that.
Cat.
I don't care. Either one's fine.
Wait, dog. How about a wolf?
A wolf that's the
might-
size of a cat.
Yeah, probably a wolf.
Like I said,
It might draw a little attention. I think a cat might be a better suggestion there, Tori, much as I'd love to see you as a wolf.
Oh, she's much more like she's a creature of the forest or something. She's met friendship with wolves and all sorts. That might just attract a bit of attention, actually.
so can you turn into like every animal?
Oh, pretty much.
I believe it needs to be anything he's seen.
Yeah, I've read some books.
Have you seen these little tiny things? They're
Gerbil.
they're really no,
Spiders?
they're really furry. They're really small. She holds her hands about maybe like about 4 inches long.
A
About
baby-
this size. They're really furry. They sound almost like a mouse, but they're like really bigger than a mouse.
Oh, and quite tasty. I'm familiar with those. Yes, I can turn into a squirrel.
Are you talking about a fucking guinea pig?
Yes.
Yes, of course we're talking about a guinea pig.
Guinness pig.
We've
Well, I don't want to turn into something that is too tasty.
well, he might try and cook you.
Yeah, somebody would.
Okay.
Yeah, I would if I was there.
I'm slightly sad.
Out of curiosity, are you guys having this discussion just outside Joga's door, or are you guys having this discussion as you're leaving?
I think as we're walking along, I would
As you're
hope
walking along.
at least.
Yes, I could turn into a guinea pig, but what use would that be if a fight breaks out? Someone would just step on me.
No,
Yeah, but then
you sound the alarm?
Surely our friend would hold the guinea pig?
I run out squeaking. I mean,
who else notices a guinea
Well,
pig?
Natara, you do know, being the druid, you do know that if something bad were to happen, you could easily drop the wild shape and, scream for help if you absolutely needed to.
Yeah. Just think it would be more useful if I was a creature that could at least, stick up for itself. I mean, who walks around with a guinea pig?
I don't know. I always thought they were really cute.
The food.
Neftari.
As you say that, as you say that, Neftari, you see a class member just go, "Excuse me," as she then pushes past you in what looks to be a little brown furry object in her hands, cradling it as she walks down.
She's like one of those.
He's going to cook it, no doubt. Probably.
What's with you and your obsession of cooking everything? Estelar's trailing behind everyone else and
Is that
cuddling her little leather pouch.
Natural 20.
I don't know. It's just I'm always hungry or something.
Neftari, here's an idea. Can you turn into Mr. Bigglesworth over there?
Is that what we're calling the guinea pig?
No, the bird.
Yeah, you could go in with two birds. I could sit on your right shoulder.
I mean, if
Are,
we
are
were
you
to,
okay
if
with
we
this, Sir Barkley? I know this
Oh,
is your real
sorry.
estate.
Sir Barclay just kind of clicks his beak at you and then just ruffles up his feathers.
He seems to consent, but don't get too comfortable.
Well, what I'm thinking is we can send Barkley to scout the area. Meanwhile, Neftari takes his place on your shoulder. And we've got all the bases covered.
Seems fair enough.
Barkley on each shoulder.
Okay. So, are you guys wanting to do
He's
this?
a sir.
Yes,
I have
okay.
properly knighted him.
Sir Barclay.
Barkley.
So as you guys are you guys are just about to hit the gate leading out into Stilben. So you have your plan of action. Neftari, are you going to wild shape into a Bloodhawk at the moment, or what do you guys plan on doing?
Yeah, go on then. Boom, boom.
Okay.
Flap, flap,
So
flap.
you rapidly shrink down in size, and you look almost exactly like Sir Barclay as you kind of take off and land gently on Coralina's right shoulder. You now have two Bloodhawks on your shoulder. Sir Barclay just kind of clicks his beak a couple of times at you and actually looks away.
It's only
Right.
temporary, Sir Barkley.
Ruffles his feathers again.
I look over suggestively.
So, Coralina, if we give you directions, can Sir Barkley scout the pub for us?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
sort of
could.
range can you see through his eyes?
I can. I am gonna be basically blind and deaf to y'all though. So I do ask that please refrain from touching me while I'm in this trance, please and thank you.
Well, Neftari can guide you.
And I will protect your body. That sounded weird. Right? As the paladin, I shall protect you from threats.
Don't worry, there's already fanfiction written to this.
Oh lord.
Oh god.
Oh god. Anyway, Coralina, are you going to look through Sir Barclay's eyes and send him off?
Yeah, I could. I mean, do you just want to sit at the bar while I do this, or do you want to carry me there, or
Well, you guys have been walking, so you're just outside. Like you're just at the exit to the underground. You've got about half a mile to the Topaz Blade. So you could safely do it there, or you could escort Coralina towards the Topaz Blade while Sir Barclay is doing reconnaissance.
Yeah, that's. Should we keep moving?
I'm going to take off as well and just circle the area looking for anything interesting.
Okay, cool. Right, I need to grab the monster manual here because I need the stats of a Bloodhawk, which should be right about...
1 strong beak, 1 ruffly feather.
Cool, right. As Sir Barclay and Neftari takes flight, I would like both of you, so in this case it would be Coralina and Neftari, to give me a perception check. Your perception at the moment, Neftari, is a +4 for a Bloodhawk.
Alright, and let's see, who's the most trustworthy individual I trust in this party?
Looking from... actually,
Natural
go ahead.
one anyway.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll get to that in a second. And go ahead and roll me another insight check, please, Coralina. 14. You don't really trust the two that you remember from the dream. The metal man seems a bit strange, but you might be able to trust him. And
He seems nice.
The draconic
I'll
individual, she could be trustworthy as well.
I'll extend my hand. You just leave me along and give my hand a squeeze if I need to stop or in case something bad happens, okay?
And,
I'm probably gonna regret this later.
Temple, when she says squeeze, gently, you know. You remember the doors?
Like as if I was holding an egg.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I shall
Okay,
protect
we'll go
your
with
egg hand and squeeze your egg hand if anything bad happens.
Okay, now, Coralina, could you roll me a perception check with a +4 as well as you're looking through Sir Barclay's eyes?
Alright. And then he's also got keen sight, so he has advantage.
Yes, that is very true. No space
There's a
between
space.
Yes, there was a space between the exclamation point and the R.
Damn it! There we go.
19. That's good enough. As Sir Barclay takes off, and you can still feel Temple kind of very gently escorting you along. Tari, you your avian instincts kind of take over as a Bloodhawk as you're flying around, and you actually see what looks to be a little mouse scurry across the floor. Just feeling kind of hungry, you just retract your wings and dive down and land on this mouse with your talons and start rushing, tearing into it as a Bloodhawk. But you don't see anything. Sir Barclay, on the other hand, however, as Sir Barclay is flying overhead, he takes a kind of a wide berth to begin with, trying to get a lay of the land. And as he flies over the southern gate, Coralina, you see an individual who's actually very badly injured, blood trailing behind him as he's kind of army crawling with one arm towards the southern exit. And Sir Barclay just watches as this individual just kind of reaches out with his hand one final time before coming to a dead still. Everyone else, so Victorilas, Temple, and Talar, give me perception checks, please. (14, 7, 24). Victorilas, even through the hustle and bustle of the people that are going about the streets, and I realise that I've got the wrong ambient music on at the moment. I need to keep an eye on that. You actually hear what sounds to be a scream of some sort that originates from the direction of the southern gate.
Well, something's going on down there. Coralina, are you able to talk in this state? And I kind of look at her, kind of cock my head sideways.
I think she said she can't hear or see. Well,
Yeah, she just continues to. She continues to just be escorted by Temple, unable to hear you at all.
Do you need her attention, Victoralis? I think if I get it though, she'll lose control of being able to see things like that.
No, it could be anything. We're in a busy town here, so...
Coralina, can you go ahead and roll me another perception check for Barclay with a +4?
Yep.
As Barclay kind of swoops down towards the gate, it actually takes a perch on the stone wall, kind of looking over into the trees that flank the dirt road leading to the out the southern gate. He catches a glimpse of what looks to be a green-skinned or scaled entity of some kind that just slinks back into the woods.
I will tell Sir Barkley to stay there. Is he still within range of me to communicate with him?
He's still he's on the very edge of the 1 mile radius.
I'll tell him to stay right there, and I will sever my connection. I think someone just died.
What did you see?
Somebody like crawling across. There's blood everywhere. Something green, and it ran back into the woods.
Ooh, sounds interesting. Where are these woods? Can I see them? Are they nearby?
They're not nearby. There's buildings and everything right in front of you.
I left Sir Barkley of where it was, so he should make his presence known.
Is this... in what direction?
I think south? I don't know, sometimes I get turned around when I'm looking through Sir Barkley.
Is that in the direction we were headed anyway?
It was not. You're heading, well, almost. You're heading southwest, so you could head there first and then head over to the Topaz Blade. But you will be going out of your way to get to the southern gate.
If someone's in trouble, I'd very much like to go and help. So if you could please tell me what direction the screaming was from, I'd like to go kill a big beastie.
Yeah, it seemed to come from that direction, and I'll point towards where I heard it.
Okay, bye. I'm gonna begin running in that direction.
Okay, cool.
There he goes.
Well,
Second.
Come on, Neftari.
I think he went for a snack.
So I've taken to the sky again. I'm hovering nearby.
Okay, so Neftari, as you kind of like make your way back to the others, you look down and you catch a glimpse of Temple now holding on to his hat with one hand so it doesn't blow away, sprinting off in the direction of the gate to the south. Victoralis and the others kind of like jogging to keep up behind.
Atari, do you want to keep an eye on Temple? We'll catch up.
I'd like to. I'm looking for a big green monster, or maybe someone who's in trouble from screaming. As
you keep running, you get over to what seems to be the southern gate. The gate's open. Roll me a perception check.
Flying over the area of the southern gate, can I see anything?
You see Sir Barkley, the other Bloodhawk, perched on the top. Actually, give me a second here.
Nice.
I can do this, I'm pretty sure. Where are you, David? They're right there. So, David, what you can see is ignore the other tokens that are there at the moment. You are perched up here with Sir Barclay just next to you, and over here you can see what looks to be a body on the ground.
Make that ping again.
Just over here.
Okay.
Am I right in saying that you're showing David a map on Roll20 that we can't see?
Yes, that is correct. Because there's a feature in Roll20 where I can actually drag an individual player's name to the page at the top, and that one player will be able to see that map, and only that player.
I'd like to fly over to the body and kind of hop around it a bit, making it look like I'm about to, have a...
Yeah, you kind of like, you fly down to it and just like kind of peck at the ground and look around. Go ahead and roll me, never mind, you already have, natural 20.
Let's see whether I can see the body or... I assumed you were going to ask me to make a perception check.
Only roll if I ask you to, please. But with that, you can see some movement throughout the trees, both on the left and right hand side. But you just see movement. There doesn't seem to be anything else that you actually catch sight of. It's about this time that everyone else finally catches up, so I'm going to drag everyone else into the area here. You can arrange yourselves however you would like for your marching order.
I'll move
So
up.
this guy's definitely dead, is
Well,
he?
Temple
Oh,
will be
he's
in front.
dead. He is very, very dead.
Okay, then I'll quickly nick an eyeball and go up to the tree.
Okay, you should have full control of your tokens. Yeah, you managed to kind of get on top of him, and like as you guys catch up, you see it's either Sir Barclay or Neftari. More than likely, Neftari kind of clamber on top of this person's head, peck down, and tear out an eyeball just by the
Oh my god!
the root, and the eyes just kind of hanging off of his beak as he then takes off and flutters onto a branch of a nearby tree.
May I roll a perception check to see if that was actually Barclay or Neftari?
I'm pretty sure you're fine familiar. You have that connection, so you know where Barclay is, right? Let me take a look here and refer to the book. Fine
Well,
familiar.
I know he's close enough by, but if Neftari looked at Sir Barclay and turned into him, would they almost be like similar enough to where I would have a hard time telling the difference?
Possibly. Let's find out. You're familiar. Action. No, you don't actually know where he is. It's just within 100 feet that you can, like, communicate telepathically. It's actually 100 feet that you can communicate telepathically, but whatever. So yeah, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
All right. I did it again. My God, I'm terrible today.
There you go, 14. You kind of watch this bloodhawk flutter off into the tree, and then like with one talon just start like pecking into this eyeball. This is not like Sir Barclay, please don't. And as you glance up and behind you, you see another bloodhawk perched on the like the top of the gate that goes over the behind you guys. You just kind of you see him glancing down at you, and he just ruffles his feathers at you as you make eye contact with him.
Oh, thank God, Sir Barkley's not a psychopath.
Have I found, spotted, or accidentally trodden on the thing that I'm pursuing?
No. As you get into the area, there's no sign of any green creature.
What have you seen?
I would like Temple, Coralina, Victorilas, and Talar to roll me a perception check. Now, Tara, you're not rolling this because you're too busy munching on this eyeball that you've stolen.
Jeez.
I'm still
we consider
disgusted.
to be in woodland at the moment.
Yeah, you've crossed the threshold, so you'll get advantage for the perception check. Okay, and if you do me a favor and just hold moving your tokens at the moment.
Okay.
Oh dear.
So 23, 14, 4, and 27. Victorilas and Talar, as you guys are kind of like glancing out, like wanting to see what it is that could have caused this, you catch glimpses of what looks to be some very strange looking creatures, green scaled and quite demonic or devilish in appearance. I would like everyone to roll initiative.
Dun dun dun.
I need a different book for this. I need Mordenkainen's Toe of Foes.
Apparently, I forgot how to
damn
roll
it.
initiative.
Check in it.
Check in it. Yes, INIT.
There we go.
There you go.
Got it.
Do they have anything?
And then Barkley gets to.
Plus.
Do you want Barkley basically move on my turn, or do you want to?
We'll have
okay.
if you want to give Barkley any kind of action or command, you can do it on your turn, and he will do that on your turn. It saves
All right.
any kind of hassle
You'll-
through initiative. Right. So they rolled this. Right, Talar, you rolled a 16. Victorilas, you rolled a 7. Nethari, you rolled a 15. Tempo rolled a 14. And I didn't.
Is the area of vision, you know, the fog of war in D&D, is that a sight range?
That is your sight range, yes.
Okay, am I able to perceive anything whatsoever beyond that? Like, do I know, can I see a body in the distance where Victoralis is, or am I literally blind beyond that point?
Oh no, like anything that you can see is what you can see. That is it.
Oh yeah.
Should I set my HP to 7 then of the Bloodhawk?
No, keep your HP as it is at the moment, because if you take damage, so if you take 8 points of damage, when the form of your Bloodhawk drops, and you revert to your normal form, and that remaining 1 hit point damage goes over to your main HP. So if anything, just give yourself 7 temporary HP at the moment.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, that's all that done. One quick moment.
And briefly, I apologize for all the possible noises from my phone. I'm getting
That's
updates from my
absolutely
roommate who's in the hospital.
I didn't hear
Absolutely fine. I've heard them every now and then, but it's
Just so you know, I was trying to emulate the behaviour of a hawk, actually. Hoping to keep myself inconspicuous as a natural wild animal that's just carrying. I mean, eyeballs are tasty too. But...
We all know, Neftari, that that's got nothing to do with you being a hawk.
I know Sir
okay.
Barkley doesn't behave like that. He's a gentleman.
Neftari
Okay.
definitely isn't.
So as you guys like kind of glance out, you can see using Victorious here as an anchor point off to the side here. There are what looks to be creatures of some kind. They kind of step out of the darkness, moving towards you quite aggressively. Green scales, yellow leathery wings. They have what looks to be some very strange decorative longsword strapped to their hip, which all of them draw as they approach you. As they step towards you, you see just off to your western side 3 globules of energy just flush out from the side as Richmond steps out from the darkness, which is not there. There he is, as Richmond steps out from the darkness, launching 3 eldritch blasts at the creatures. Richmond, if you could go ahead and point out which of the creatures you're aiming at, please. Where are you? There you are, Richmond.
Hi guys. I'll take a shot at the closest one, I think.
Closest one, cool. That is doing so the 20 hits for 5 points plus your. Oh, I actually need to bring up your character sheet at the moment. Oh no, I don't. There it is. So your Eldritch Blast is a D10 plus 5. So they all 3 hit. So 5 plus 5 plus 10, that's 15. That's 45 points of damage to the first creature. If I can bring up my fucking initiative. Where is it? There it is. And that one was number 4. So number 4 takes 45 points of damage. Drops it to that much health as 3 Eldritch Blasts from Richmond collide in both shoulders and then impact the creature's chest. Are you using, with your Agonizing Blast, are you pushing it back 10 feet?
Oh yes, I want to get those things as far away from me as possible.
Cool. Pushes the creature back just almost outside of your vision range. I think I need to adjust your... no, your vision range is absolutely fine. There you go, that's better. That was the thing I was supposed to do. So basically, anything that is within line of sight, it's kind of like Adam, kind of like Divinity 2. Anything that your party member can see, you can also see.
Cool.
So it's kind of like a squad sight. So as long as your ally can see it, you have vision of it as well. Makes it a little bit more balanced, personally. So I think I need to adjust that for everyone. All players see sight. Yeah, cool. That's what I've done wrong. Sorry, this is my first time messing with the advanced fog of war in Roll20. Now, some of you have better sight since you're you have dark vision and stuff like that, but you will be able to use that to your advantage. Anyway, so that's 45 points of damage. And Richmond, is there anything else you'd like to do in your turn as I quickly go ahead and do this?
I'd just like to wave at my friends, hi guys, and mince towards the wall away from those creatures.
You should have control of your token, so you can go ahead and move if you'd like.
Okay. 1, 2. Hi, Temple.
Okay. Next up, Talar. It is your turn in initiative.
Her eyes follow the blast, and then back to where they came from, and her jaw drops open. Richmond? Where? What? she's just in complete shock.
Okay.
Kill now, talk later, okay?
That's right. Okay. Side question. I have no idea which one he was attacking because everything was
He
black.
attacked this one over here.
I can't. Hang on. Oh, okay. There we go. That's better.
Yeah, this one over here.
Okay.
Oh, wrong button. I almost moved you there. Need to do that one.
Yeah, don't. Okay, perfect. So let's see. And during the same time as all this, she's still holding the other bundle close to her chest, but even more so, though, still gently, as she's preparing to fight. Using spiritual weapon at level. We'll do level 4.
Level 4. Where are you wanting to cast it?
Right here.
Just to the right of the creature, yeah?
Correct.
Right, cool. Spiritual weapon, 4th level, is 2d8 plus 4. Good to know, as we drop your Spirit Phoenix just next to it, and I give you control of it. Nope, that's the wrong that's the wrong player. There we go. So that would be a d20 plus 8 for the attack.
D20 plus 8. Or did I not do that right?
No, you did. 24, that
Okay.
will hit. So go ahead and roll 2d8 plus 4, I'm pretty sure it was. Yes, 2d8 plus 4. As I shift everything over to my correct window here on Chrome, so that I've got all your character sheets up and available to me. That is 13 points of damage as your Spirit Phoenix just arises up from a gout of flame next to the this green scaled devilish looking creature and just racks its talons across its face. For 13 points of damage, that drops it to that much health.
Okay.
Anything else you would like to do in your turn?
I'm gonna throw a guiding bolt at it, level 3.
Okay, go ahead and roll your guiding bolt level 3. That is... Where the hell is it? Guiding bolt level 3. Make a range spell attack. So yeah, that's another d20 plus 8. That would be 66 on a hit. So d20 plus 8.
Right. And that was, I'm sorry, what was that? 6?
That's if you hit, of course, which you do. So it's 6d6 of damage for a 3rd level guiding bolt.
Nice.
27 points of damage. Very nice.
Right to the
Drop it
face.
down to that much damage as, yeah, the bolts kind of streaks across and strikes it in the face. It kind of like and just glares over to you as the radiant energy, like that soft violet energy of Tseloon kind of just glows around the creature now as the next attack on it has advantage. So I'm going to give it a we'll just do purple, a little purplish token for that. And you have your movement.
I will stay put for the moment.
Stay put for the moment, no problem. Next up is Neftari in initiative.
Okay, having dropped my eyeball at the site of Richmond, can I use my perception to scan these trees for any potential meals or target? Anything?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a perception check. A 13. No, you don't actually spot any potential meals as you kind of hop from branch to branch. But as you get around to the southern side, you do spot these two devilish creatures that are just below you at the moment. They don't seem to be aware of any threat from you. And I will say that would be your bonus action for that.
That's just my movement and swoop down between them, and as I go between them, well, not low enough that they can hit me, hopefully, but I'd like to just screech out so everybody else can see.
Okay.
So attract attention to that direction.
Bloodhawk. Let's see here. No senses. Just go ahead and roll me a flat d20 for this. And I want you to call high or low as well, please, for favourable conditions. 11.
High, please.
High. Okay. As you kind of call out, just screech out as you swoop down, the second creature, the one here on the right, kind of glances up to you and just lunges out with the longsword at you. That is going to be a 23 to hit. What's the AC of a Bloodhawk?
Oh, it's nowhere near that. It's
okay, cool. Then that will do a D8 plus 1. 12, yeah. So that is 7 points of slashing damage to your Bloodhawk form, which drops instantly as you're flying overhead. Roll me a dex save. Exclamation point R space, say dex.
Yeah, you made it.
Wait. Okay, yeah, no, I see that now. Why did rhythm pop up with a command?
Exclamation S probably for skip.
Probably. Oh well. So yeah, don't test it. 14. Yeah, no, you're able to as the blade kind of cuts through the soft feathers of your Bloodhawk chest, you feel your form kind of falter, and you flip over and gracefully land on your feet. You don't take any damage from it, but you do kind of stumble back and almost lose your balance before drawing your it's your scimitars, I believe you're using at the moment. Or are you using your quarterstaff? Quarterstaff, that's the one. So yeah, you prepare your quarterstaff and ready for a fight. I was going to move on to Temple's turn in initiative after that.
Richmond, I can't believe it's you. I'm going to run towards him and give him a hug.
All right.
You expected any different. You don't know how glad I am to see you.
Yeah, you run over Richmond. Actually, go ahead and roll me a strength check, please, Temple.
You're gonna kill him. Just come back.
I just want to see how strong this bear hug is. Yeah, Richmond, you've been having a bit of an issue with your back recently, with all the jobs that you've been doing. And as Temple kind of runs over and just manhandles you into this bear hug, there's a as he just just bear hugs you, and there's a large crunch at your back. And
is it a good kind of crunch though?
It's painful to begin with. It's painful to begin with, but then the moment he lets you go, actually feels pretty good.
Really good. That sciatica's really gone. Thank you. We kill things now.
Yeah.
With that, that's going to be your turn, Temple, as it moves on to the creatures. What kind of movement do they have? See here. First one's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 40 up to here. Fourth one, 5, 10, 25, 30. As these two kind of like take a step forward and with a large beat of their wings propel themselves forward towards you, Temple. The other two, 10, 20, 25, 35 feet up to here, and the other one, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 feet up to here. As they kind of launch themselves with their wings towards you, each of them getting 2 attacks. 4 essentially on a Temple, 4 on Talar. So let's see. So this is a multi-attack.
I do have a quick question. Would I have just enough of a chance to turn around to protect what I'm holding against my chest?
We'll see. Starting with Temple, does a 20 hit your armor class?
Yes, I equipped my Grey Axe of Frostpain today, so I have 20 AC.
You've got 20 AC, cool. So an unnatural 20 hits you. Doing... that's a 2 points of slashing damage as it rolls a 1 on its damage, and then as it brings the Lord's longsword across you, it then kind of brings its offhand down at you with its claws, trying to strike out at you. That's a... is that plus 6? It's a plus 8 actually, but no, that's an 11 to hit. It's kind of brings down its claws against you. How are you wanting to deflect this, by the way?
I mean, I'm just a great big suit of armor, you know.
Okay. So you just like the creature brings its claws down, and there's just a dull thud on your shoulder. No pain, no damage. It just kind of like looks at his hand and looks up to you, kind of concerned, and then prepares for its next attack. The second one to you, Temple, that's going to be that's a plus 6. That's a 13, so that misses, and then a 12. So both miss. As it brings down its longsword against you, you're able to parry with your great sword, throwing the longsword to your side, and again another strike against you with the creature's claws, but it doesn't seem to have any kind of effect against you. Talar, I'm going to call high or low, please.
Hi.
Hi, cool. You currently don't have your armor on at the moment, so you're...
Yeah, I'm at 15. I was at 17. You had me drop it to 15 when I took the chest piece off.
Yeah, because you're cradling the leather in one hand with your shield in the other. Cool. So your armor class is 15. Right, so the first creature, that's a miss. Okay, the second attack, the claw hits you as you are able to just turn away in time. There you feel several deep gouges rack across your back. You take 7, 11, 14 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
So S con?
S space con, yes. 12. Ignore the ball. I'll start playing it again if it does skip it eventually. That is a fail. So you take 11 points of poison damage, and you are now poisoned.
Oh, fun.
I'll put that little token against you. And the second creature is now going to strike out at you. That's going to be a hit for the longsword, which is going to be a D8. That's 2. That's 3 points of slashing damage, and another hit for 2d8. 11. And another 11 points. Another 14 points of piercing damage with its claws. and I need you to roll another Constitution save. No, that fails. As you take another 5. That's 9. That's 14 points of poison damage. As the first creature, as you dodge away, it misses with this longsword, but then strikes you in the back with its claws. On that first impact, you can feel the poison energy that seemed to envelop its claws seep into your body, and as much as you try and resist it, you can feel the poisons now start to flow through your body and it begins to burn your insides. The second creature manages to strike you across the back with its longsword and then sinks its claws into you as well, doing even more damage. And you can just feel this almost liquid fire flowing through your veins. I need to quickly check the poison conditions. I forget what it does.
As you're looking that up, Tlar basically is like on her, well, on one hand and both knees, and she's still cradling the leather piece against her chest, and she screams out in pain as she's being attacked, but she's trying desperately to protect whatever she's holding.
Cool. Where the fuck did I put it? I can't remember where I put my DM screen now. So the DM screen has the conditions on it readily available. So I'll just use the index here. C conditions. 290. So yeah, I was off by quite a while. 290. There we go. Poisoned. You have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks as you're poisoned. However, at the end of your turn, you can roll another con save it'll just be 1 because it doesn't stack. But you'll be able to roll another con save to try and resist the poison. With that moves to Victorious. It's currently your turn in initiative.
Well, first things, Richmond, have you changed your face paint? It looks great. And then I'm going to run forward with my short swords drawn to behind this motherfucker.
Okay.
I'm going to use... Am I? Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to Hunter's Mark him.
Okay. Use your bonus action for that.
Bonus action to Hunter's Mark. And then I'm going to attack with short.
Cool. Go ahead and roll your first attack at advantage.
Do I just do short sword, or do I need to specify the +3?
Specify the +3. What you might want to do is... or no, you've updated your character sheet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you do short, it should do it automatically because it's the only weapons that you're using at the moment.
Let's check. Short sword +3. 1, please.
Okay, so the attack hits for 7 points of piercing damage, and go ahead and roll your d6 for Hunter's Mark. That's number 3 for 7. That drops it down to
God
that.
damn it.
And 1 drops it down to that much health as you bring your first short sword down onto it, striking across its back. It just kind of turns around and glares at you. Go ahead and roll your second attack. A 15 will not hit. As you bring your longsword down to strike it a second time, it turns around and actually brings its own longsword up to bear and actually manages to deflect the deflect your strike.
Okay. I'm going to stay put and end my turn there.
Okay. that will move on to Coralina. It is your turn in initiative.
Okie doke. Well, I'm going to use my movement to go ahead and situate myself over here. And then I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt.
Okay, Lightning Bolt. Let me take a look here. Stroke of lightning forming a line 100 feet long and 5 feet wide. Blast out from you in a direction you choose. Each creature in the line must make a dex saving throw. Creature takes 8d6 lightning damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. The lightning ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried. Cool. Can you point out the direction? I'm assuming because you.
I'm blowing straight ahead of me.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
very
Coralina's gonna be a try-hard here, and she's gonna crank it to max, so she's gonna cast at level 6.
Holy
6th level. Okay, so 6th level.
That's how it's done.
So it's 8d6.
She's trying really hard to get these people to like her.
So 1d6 above 3rd level. So it's 8, 9, 4th, 10th, 5th. It's 11d6 on a failed dex save. Let's take a look here. Okay. What was the DC, sorry?
DC is 15.
15, okay. That first one saves, 2 fails, 3 fails, ow, and 4 just saves. So if you could go ahead and roll your 11d6 of lightning damage, that would be great. 36 points of lightning damage. Okay, so number 2 and 3, they both take the full brunt of the damage. So that's 36. That drops them down. Drops that down to that. 6. Drops it down to that, and half 36 is 18 points of damage. Dropping that down to that, and 18 drops them down to that much health. As the as everyone watches as Coralina kind of runs over to the side of them, and almost like threading a needle, she kind of just like pulls back, and you watch as this crackling blue energy just builds in her hands as she just then lets out a stroke of brilliant white blue lightning, which just creases straight across the battlefield. The first 2 creatures almost at point blank range, they don't have enough time to dodge out of the way of it and take a full brunt of the lightning damage, whereas the 2 at the back, they're just able to kind of duck out of the way in time, dodging a majority of the damage, unfortunately. Sorry, I'm just double checking something here. I need to remember that.
No problem.
Anything else you'd like to do on your turn, Coralina?
Let's see. I'm gonna say I like bad decisions, and I'm gonna stay right here and end my turn.
Okay. With that, to the top of the round, Richmond, it's your turn.
Oh, right. I like her. She's very powerful. Right to the side, 5 feet, and I shall use my bonus action. Hex on.
On that one, no problem. We will hex him.
Okay, and I'd like to unload 3 Eldritch Blasts at that one at point blank range, and then I will nip back behind my best friend, Temple.
Okay, go ahead and cast your Eldritch Blast, please.
Yeah, that's 1 blast. Do we do the other 2? Yeah.
Hold on a second. Yeah, just, but could you just roll? Actually, yeah, just go ahead and cast it, all 3. Go ahead.
Okay. Agonizing Blast on all 3. And the hex damage, once we do 3d6.
For the hex damage, 1, 2, yeah, they all hit. So yeah, go ahead and roll 3d6 of hex damage. Cool. Are you pointing them all at the one that you've hexed? Yeah.
All the one that's hexed. Yeah.
All the one that's hexed. Cool.
Him.
So that is.
Hits, please.
Sorry, say that again. This music is actually
I
going
want
really
to
loud.
use my
Repulse
blast
to
knock
repelling
it
blast.
30
That's
feet
it.
Back if possible. Yeah.
30 feet.
Yeah, 1 per blast, please.
Oh yeah, because it's 10 feet per
Sure,
blast, isn't it? Cool. Right. So so that is a Richmond because it's
Move
always
back
done this
behind
for
my
you.
best friend temple.
Yeah, no problem. It's always done this for you. It's never added the your bonus to your damage for your Eldritch Blast for some reason. So it's a +5 for each. So that's 9 plus 13. That's 22. Plus 7. That's 29. That's 40 points of damage. 5, 10, 15, 28, 25, 30 feet to there. 40 points of damage, dropping it down to that much health. As you all watch and you all smile as the return of Richmond, you watch as he just builds coalesce energy of eldritch energy in each of his hands, and you just watch him 3 blasts striking this creature, and with each one impacting, you just watch as it brings its hands up to its face to kind of protect itself, but it just gets pushed back 10 feet, another 10 feet, another 10 feet, and as it kind of glares up, you see a deep violet coloured blood just seep out of its mouth. There's a
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
I will give you 1 attack of opportunity, yes, as it's knocked outside. Well, actually, technically, it's not. You're not supposed to, because it's if a creature willingly moves out of your melee range. So no, actually, I won't give you that. I'm afraid it's only if a creature willingly moves
just
out.
say, so Ross, I'm trying something different out at the moment.
Looks good, buddy.
I turn.
Okay. With that, move on to Talar. It is your turn in initiative.
Okay. Am I able to use Lesser Restoration on myself?
Let's double check here. Lesser Restoration. I'm pretty sure you can.
Creature, isn't it?
And it's touch range, so yeah, you can use a action to cure yourself of poison if you'd like.
I would like to do that.
All right,
And
cool.
I think that's at 2nd level.
2nd level, yes it is.
Okay. Do I need to roll anything for that?
Nope, yeah, it just happens as you kind of like press your hands to your chest, and that's the soft violet glow of Tulun just emanates from your hand and overflows over your body, and as the light fades, the feel of the liquid fire flowing through your veins just slowly dissipates until you feel no pain.
Okay, and I'm also, let's see.
You have your bonus action and you have your movement.
Okay. Looks like I can. I'm going to have her move up against the wall over here.
And they will both
get
get
away
attacks
from
of
these two.
opportunity against you.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. Can I retract that, or is
Yeah.
it too late?
No, you can do
Okay,
that.
never mind. Okay, so she's gonna stay there for the moment.
Since we've been idle, since you have been idle for a couple of weeks, I will allow you to retract for the moment, but going ahead, if you decide to do something, that'll be it. Like if you say I move over here and move your token, if you cause an attack of opportunity, it's going to happen.
No, that's fine.
So no
I understand.
takebacks.
Okay. So I'm going to have her do Where is it? Healing word on myself at level 5.
Cool. Healing word at 5th level. That will be roll 5d4 plus 4.
Oh, come on. Yeah, that really helped.
And you generate 13 points of HP as you kind of glance over at these two creatures and just bark a word and bark out the spell in Draconic, and the healing energy of the moon from Tselun's blessing just kind of flows through you. The slash that's across your back and the gouges from the claws slowly start to heal over. With that, unless you do want to move, that will move to Neftarian initiative.
She's going to stay put, and she's still keeping her back towards the creatures, still trying to protect.
Neftari, it's your turn in initiative.
Okay, I shall move. Next to
Coralina, yep.
Carly. Your magic's pretty good. Can you do this? Cast a sunbeam.
What level are you casting Sunbeam at?
So it's 6th level.
Oh yeah, so it is. So 6th level. But you know, brilliant light flashes out from your hand in a 5 foot wide, 60 foot long line. Each creature in the line must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 68 radiant damage and is blinded until your next turn. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage and isn't blinded by the spell. Undead and oozes have disadvantage on the saving throw. You can create a new line of radiance as your action on any turn until the spell ends. For the duration, a mote of brilliant radiance shines in your hand. It sheds a bright light in a 30 foot radius and dim light for an additional 30 feet. This light is sunlight.
Maybe you square backwards, or I'm gonna hit temple. Is that too late? It's too late.
So can you ruler
I'm gonna hit Richmond, isn't it? It's,
are you going to do it like that, or?
I was hoping to get as many as possible with blast, but I oops.
And you were there, so yeah, that's 30 feet.
Okay.
So yeah, from there, if you want to hit both of these two, you're going to have to, like, Temple or Richmond are going to have to make a save.
Oh, gods don't like sunlight.
I love sunlight.
So what are you doing, Neftari?
I'm showing off to the new girl, so I'm gonna definitely hit these. Try to hit the two, and I'm gonna let one of those.
Well, who are you going to make? Are you going to do it in that
Richmond's
direction?
gonna get fried.
Richmond's going to get fried. Cool. Right. So, Neftari for a spell save is 14.
Welcome back, dude.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. I'll need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please, Richmond. And if you could do exclamation point save instead of S to avoid rhythm being screwed. That's a 7. That's a fail, and that's a fail. And for con, actually, con is +3. Everyone fails. Yay! So roll me 6d8 of radiant damage, please.
I've got resistance to radiant, so I'll just take half.
Yes, you do have resistance to radiant damage, so you only take half. No problem. So 23 points of damage to number 2 and 3. 3 drops at 2.
12, yeah?
Rounded down, yeah, 12 points. So 23, and that drops to that. Cool. However, because
I'm melting.
You are blinded, however, so you cannot see for your. Actually, I'll put that one on. That one looks better.
Because those are the bad guys, so that's not. Did you say they failed as well?
Yes, they both failed as well, as they are now all blinded by your sunbeam.
Radiation, that is.
Now, that was an action, so you still have your bonus action if you would like to use it.
I shall use a beast hide shift in there. No,
Okay.
no, I won't use my
No.
bonus action after.
You won't use it, you'll just leave it until next?
But he just, and the Ferry just acts a real smug, you know, we got.
Okay, cool. With that, we'll move on to Temple's turn in initiative.
Ooh, a green thing. How exciting. What am I looking at? Do I know what this is? And does it react to the presence of my great big frost greatsword?
No and no.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'm going to use my most favorable and cleverest of all battle attacks, and I'm going to hit it until it dies.
Cool. Hit it until it dies. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Right. Well, no.
That's not how it works.
Great axe. Can I just type great, do you
Great.
think?
And it should work, yes.
Actually, first I'm going to use a bonus action to get a level 2 branding smite on there for some extra damage before I hit him.
Okay, let me take a look at Brandon's smite here. Extra range deals an extra 2d6 radiant damage. Cool. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Pop.
Great, that is a 20 to hit, which does hit as you bring the great axe down, doing 15 points of slashing damage. Give me one moment here, Temple.
I would like a divine smite on there as well, please.
Yeah, go ahead and
At level 3, how much am I adding for my
3
divine?
is 2, 3, 4d8. So 4d8 of damage to that.
And 2d6 from the branding spike?
Yes.
Did you say 4d8?
4d8, yes.
Cool.
Cool. And roll me a 1d6, please, as well. Cool. So 15 points of slashing damage to number 1. That's drops down to that much health. 2d6 from the branding smite for 8, which drops it down to that much health. 19 points from the radiant damage. 19 points from the radiant damage. That's that much health, plus 3 points. Cool. So as you bring your the great axe down across it, there is a almost lightning bolt of that negative black energy that ripples out from the wound as the divine strike and the divine smite and branding smite just tear through its chest, leaving a big deep like purple gouge in it as the violet colored blood just starts to seep from the wound. The wound then, like the blood then just kind of, you just see it just freeze over almost instantly, and frost starts to actually build up on the creature's body as it just kind of like stumbles for a moment and glares up at you and growls at you.
Very interesting, and it's still stood up.
It is still
I'm going
standing.
to use Plan B, which is hit it
Hit
again.
it again. Go ahead, Plan B, hit it again. That is a 27 to hit for 14 points of damage. So that will hit for 14 points of damage.
But that's not good enough, so I would like a second level Divine Smite as well, please.
That's 3d8. For 18 points.
1d6.
And 1d6, yes. 18, 20 points. Cool, so that drops down to that much health. Cool. As you bring your great axe around and strike it again, it actually manages to bring up its longsword and catch it. It catch the strike, but it pushes back. Your blade sinks into its shoulder, and there's that kind of. It's a dull glow. It's not as much as you'd hoped, but it's still a dull glow of the negative energy from the roll just emits from the wound as you retract the great axe. It's just. You actually hear the chill in its voice as more ice starts to kind of grow from where the wound impacted and from the great axe impacted.
How fun! What a fun enemy. I'm going to tell it needs to really put up a good fight though, and I'm going to pick a random language. I'm going to just try and speak gibberish to it. Maybe it'll get scared. It doesn't speak common, but it'll speak.
Okay. Okay.
Picturing Brie Larson when she's having that fight in Captain Marvel.
No. No. No, but
do I need to roll charisma?
No, you do not. And switching over your character sheet here a second, Coralina, because I need to check something. No. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Richmond and Talar, you actually hear the creature. You will pay for that. In Infernal. As it just glares up at Temple. Is there anything else you would like to do on your turn, Temple? It'll move on. It will move on to the creature's turn in initiative. The first one here is going to. I need to bring up my book for my PHB for this, because I need to figure out what this does. Because this is a spell I've never cast before.
Oh crap, we're all gonna die.
I'm sure it's probably just a simple defensive spell to protect it from the horrible words of evil when I just spoke to it.
I'd like to cast Safe Space as a cantrip.
No. I need you, Temple.
That's me.
To roll me a wisdom saving throw at advantage, please.
Yeah, would I be able to use counter spells my reaction?
What level are you casting counter spell at?
It's always at the maximum level, so.
Is it?
So it would be at 5th level.
At 5th level. Okay, go ahead and roll me a what is your spell modifier? It's charisma?
Yeah.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Just 5, yeah.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll a d20 plus 5, please.
Oh man, I reckon the reason I have a 20 here is because I'm not even listening.
15. Doesn't even matter whether you that natural 20 roll, unfortunately. As Richmond, you watch as the Abishai's eyes like fade to a deep black color and just glare at Temple, and then Infernal just go, "Your mind is mine," and you're familiar with these creatures. You react with your quick reactions. You just immediately cast your counter spell as the Abishai's eyes just kind of return to normal. You just wave your finger at it as you successfully counter dominate person.
Not today, green person. Not today.
The second creature is going. The second one is going to move up to here. It is. I need 290 again. God damn it! I'm pretty sure it just has. That's the monster manual. You fucking idiot. There's a need PHP.
I have a feeling my character is targeted to be taken out completely.
You're just in the firing line at the moment, I'm afraid. Blinded. Can't see any automatic abilities and ability check that requires sight. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. Cool. I'm going to keep that down there. I'm going to need it a lot more, probably. The creature moves up to here. The attacks have advantage at flanked, but disadvantage because of blindness, so they're just normal. Like the advantage cancels out, and it's going to strike out at you, Talar. The first one is with its longsword. That's going to be a hit for 2d8 of slashing damage. That's 1d8. Yeah, 1d8 slashing damage. So that's 4 points of slashing damage to you, and it makes a second attack, which just misses, as you're able to duck down and get out of the way of its claw attack as it tries to slash at you with its claws again. The third creature, the one between you and Victorlas, is going to actually turn to Victorlas and make an attempt at striking out at him. 13, and that's 8. No, as it kind of like has its hands up, like its hand up to its eyes, trying to like wave off the blindness. It just kind of slashes down. You kind of step to the side, Victorlas, as the blade then cuts through your displaced self. Again, you look at it and witness it kind of cry out in pain, but silently. But you could almost imagine yourself crying out in pain as the displaced form returns to you, and then shifts back out anew. And so I'm going to make another attack against you. That's a 14. That's another 14 plus 8. So that's a 22 to hit.
I'll hit.
I'll hit. Cool. You take. It's 2d8 plus 3. 1, 8, 9, 10, 11 points of piercing damage, and I need you to roll me a Constitution save. (17), you succeed. So as the claws kind of like actually find the right target and strike you, your displaced form phases back into your cloak, and you feel the poison seep into your body, but you managed to shrug it off. The poison just seeming to dissipate into nothing. That was number 3. Moving on to number 4. It's going to 5, 10, 15, 20. Actually, no, here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Move over to here. Towards you. Victorlas, as it strikes out at you with its longsword. That is a 6, and that is a 7. So that'll be a 13 to hit. I doubt it.
That doesn't hit.
Yeah, I didn't think so. And then it slashes at you with its claw. That's a 6. And that's 4. So no, both attacks miss you as you hear it kind of like and kind of like runs at you with the its longsword raised. You glance over your shoulder and you definitely manage to dodge both of its attacks. With that, it's going to move on to your turn in initiative, Victorlas.
Okay, I am gonna take my revenge on this motherfucker that hit me.
Okay. Tress. Actually, 1 second. Let me. It's until your next turn, right, Nithari, for Sunbeam?
What? Yeah, well, my next turn I can do a cast another.
No. A successful save has damage, and is blinded until your next turn. Yeah, so until your next turn, these creatures are blinded. That's what I was looking at. So yeah, go ahead,
So
Victorlas.
he's still blind, yeah?
Yeah, he's still blind. So attacks against them have advantage, even though you'll have advantage anyway because it's flanked. 22 will hit. I'm assuming the one, like the Hunter's Marked one, yeah?
The Hunter's Marked one, yeah.
Cool. So 7, roll your Hunter's Mark, your D6 for Hunter's Mark, and your D8 for Colossus Slayer. That was number 3. So 7, 10.
Given that he's blind, would I also get a sneak attack on him?
Yes, actually, I will give you that. Go ahead and roll your D6 of sneak attack damage.
D6.
So 5.
Another
Okay,
5.
so 7, 10, 12, 15, 17. Drops it down to that much health as you, as it's kind of looking around, like trying to look around. Its eyes kind of like almost completely shut as the light from the sunbeams it can't open its eyes. You kind of duck down and then strike at it from an angle it wouldn't expect, as it's kind of like expecting an attack to its immediate front. You like dig your blade into its side and kind of like looks around, sounding frustrated to where the attack comes from. Go ahead and roll your next attack. Uh, 28, yeah, that'll hit for 12 points. And go ahead and roll your D6 of Hunter's Mark damage. So 12, 16. Drops it down to that much health. As you manage to strike at it with your second blade.
I'm thinking of doing that 300 maneuver, where he like spins around on the ground and stabs a guy in the stomach, and then spins around again with the other sword and stabs him in the back.
Yeah, no problem. I've not seen 300 for a while, so I'm gonna have to watch that later on tonight. Now, actually, that's a good movie. Anyway,
right,
else
bonus action. Yeah, I'm gonna bonus action. Hit him again.
With your offhand strike, yeah, go ahead.
Offhand strike, please.
Remember though, you don't get any modifiers to the damage with an offhand strike, so it's just
shitey damage.
1, but it's still Hunter's Marked, so go ahead and roll your D6 on Hunter's Marked damage. It's an attack, so it counts. So that's 6 points of damage, dropping it down to that. As your offhand strike, you just managed to clip it with the tip of your tip of one of your short swords. With that, Coralina, it is now your turn in initiative.
Alright, let's see. So, I've witnessed some of these people taking damage. But at the challenge of, can I do this? Like Natara says, I'll do you one better! And I'm going to use my movement.
Okay.
To approach Talar. I'm going to move into right here. I know this is crazy stupid for a wizard being this close.
Yeah, I think I know what you're doing here.
I'm going to hold out my hand to Talar. Take my hand!
Do you, Talar?
She hesitates briefly, but then, yes, she takes her hand.
Motherfucker, I cast Thunder Step.
Hold on a sec. You can also teleport one willing creature of your size or smaller who's carrying gear up to 5 feet. If you, yeah. Okay, cool. Where are you teleporting to? It's 90 feet.
90 feet. I'll just port us back about 25 feet, so we're out of firing range.
Cool. So you guys port over to there, yeah?
Yeah, and then I think they have to make a Constitution save, because of the audible thunder of thunderous boom sounds. Yeah, it's anyone within 10 feet.
10 feet, yep. So that will be Victorilas, and these two creatures have to make a con save, I believe it is.
I'm assuming the bundle that I'm holding to my chest also made it with me.
Yeah, so
it's an item.
It's an item that is attached to you, so yeah, it goes as well. So yeah, okay. I would like Victorilas, if you're there, because your mic's muted, I'd need you to roll a Constitution saving throw. I think he's gone AFK very quickly. We'll get him to do that when he comes back. It is number
DC 15?
2 and 3, DC 15. Oh, that's cocked. First one saves just. Second one fails. So that would be is what 3d10 of thunder damage.
It's 4d10.
Oh, you're doing it a higher level, yeah?
Let me see.
Doing it at 4th level, or
It says on my sheet.
it's
No, it is 3d10. My apologies on that.
Yeah, it's a third level spell, 3d10. So
Fuck it, let's do it at level 4. I want
Cool.
4d10.
4d10 of thunder damage. Go for it. So the second, this one here saves. This one here fails. So this one here takes 17. Halved is rounding down, or rounding up for enemies, is 8 points of damage to numero dos. Drops it down to that, and a full 17 damage to numero tres. Drops it down to that much health. Just need to wait for Victorious to return and get him to roll his con save.
And there's a very audible boom that's going to be heard for like 300 feet.
Oh yeah, there's a large kaboom as Coralina rushes over and is just, take my hand! Talar, you look kind of concerned, but do it nonetheless. Take Coralina's hand. There's a sudden flash of white light as you're now in a completely different location. The the southern gate of Stilben is just kind of overhanging above you, and
Success!
You see one of the creatures is kind of like has its hands up to its ears, just looking around, like trying to look around, but looks in absolute agony. The other one just kind of the other one's just kind of still looking like really blinded, but doesn't seem to have been affected too much by the sound.
Can I react a little bit to this, or do I need to wait until my turn?
It depends on how you're wanting to react.
Basically to kind of just look around, look up at her, and say thank you.
Yeah, you can do that. That's free action, no problem.
I'd like to holler over as my. I'd like to holler over as my free action. Beat that!
So Talar's,
Very
she looks
nice.
up and says thank you, and hears this, and then she just starts chuckling.
Very nice. Victorlas.
Hello, sorry.
There you are. Cool. I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Sure thing.
20. Yeah, no problem. You take what was it? 8 points of thunder damage. As Coralina ran over to Talar and took her by the hand and then blinked out of existence before there was a very loud, audible boom as she teleports away, casting Thunder Step. So you take 8 points of thunder damage.
Okay, as a reaction then, please could I use 3rd level absorb elements?
Spell 3rd level absorb elements.
I would like to reduce that down to 4 damage and absorb the thunder, please.
Hold on a second, let me take a look here. Incoming energy. Resistance to the triggering damage side until the start of your next turn. Also, the first time you take a hit with a melee attack on your next turn, and the target takes an extra d6. Which will then go to 3rd level, yeah?
3rd level, please.
Cool, yeah, no problem. Spend the spell slot, 4 damage instead, as you've got resistance to it, and your next melee attack does an additional 3d6 of thunder damage to a creature that you attack.
Thanks, Coralina.
No problem!
With that, top of the round, Richmond, it's your turn.
Oh, so at the moment I'm sort of feeling my hands around, so I can't actually see at the moment.
You cannot see a thing.
I gave
No.
an overdose of vitamin D, so I stay where I am and shoot 3 Eldritch Blasts at where I think the one that I hexed is.
Okay, no
So that's
problem.
Disadvantages.
That is disadvantage on all 3 strikes. All 3 Eldritch
The
Blasts.
one that I've hexed.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Okay, so the miss. Disadvantage, is
Sorry,
that correct?
chap. Didn't mean it.
Got.
Yeah.
How do you do disadvantage again?
So you'll be exclamation point cast space Eldritch Blast space DIS Delta India Sierra dis for disadvantage.
Yes, yeah, no problem. Okay, first blast.
That still hits for 6 points of force damage.
Second blast.
Still hits for an extra 13, so that's
Cool.
19. That's a natural
Third
one.
blast.
That's a natural one. Go ahead and roll me a d10.
Oh boy, I know where this is going.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this D10 is to decide which one of us it hits.
Oh no! Oh no!
I also have hex damage on that
I know.
one, so I'll do...
I know. Just roll me a d10, please.
Okay, so...
Okay, right. So, now roll me 2d6 of your hex damage, please.
Okay.
As you do 8, 13 plus 6, that's 19.
I won't be totally upset if that stray
24.
blast hits Netari.
24 points to number 4. That does drops it down to that much health. As you completely blinded, you kind of you can almost sense the direction of where your hex target is. You just coalesce the eldritch energy in your hands and let loose your first 2 bolts, and just listening in, both those bolts have hit their mark. You're satisfied with that. Are you pushing this thing back 20 feet, by the way, away from you?
I certainly am. And we'll get Organized Blast on those as well.
Yeah, I've already counted that as well.
Cool.
On your as you build up the
Okay.
third build up of eldritch energy, you let it loose in your hands, but it seems like it's just fizzled out of existence. Now, as you kind of look over yourself, eldritch energy just erupts into your chest. Take 10 points of force 15 points of force damage to yourself as you're then knocked back into the wall. 15 points of force damage.
15 damage. Done. Yep.
As you're then knocked back against the wall, as your eldritch blast just discharged in, failed to fire, and then discharged at yourself. It's an okay. Shit
So
happens.
that's what happens when you don't put your finger.
Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Curl up into a fetal ball on the ground.
Okay, cool. Richmond's now prone. So any attacks made against Richmond have advantage, and any melee hits are automatic criticals. Next up is Talar in initiative.
Lovely. Okay. Let's see.
Nah, I'm just fucking with you. I'm not going to make you go prone.
That's good. Okay. And I'd like to not be hitting Victorilus with what I'm hoping to do here. I'd like to... Let's see. If I move her here, I'm out of range of any attacks, right? Is that correct?
Move where? Move to there.
Right there.
Yeah, you're out of range of an attack.
I
for
mean,
the time being.
as opposed to going here.
If you move there, you'll be in range. But if you move
Right.
move there, you will not be in range for the time being. Because when it comes to their turn, they may turn and move towards you and attack you.
Understandable. I'm going to have her move 20 feet to there.
Okay.
And let's see. My spiritual weapon is a little far away, so I'm going to recast it 5th level.
Yep, and where are you casting it?
Let's see, I think I can. Oops, wrong button. Right next to the dotted dude, right here. Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead and roll a d20 plus 8 for its attack. As another gout of like your spiritual phoenix kind of just like dives into the ground as it was where it originally was. The gout of flames just kind of burst up and then coalesce around it and just suck it into the ground before there's another eruption of flame next to the creature. Your phoenix rises up and swipes down with its talons, but the creature with the gout of flame next to it, it glances up and then takes a step to the side as the talons are not able to connect.
Okay.
13 misses, unfortunately.
Yeah, I figured that wouldn't hit. With where I'm at now, I'm going to try another guiding bolt towards it.
The same one, yeah?
At 4th level. The purple, does... That was
does
for
nothing. That's for the purple is for oh wait, no, yeah, that's for
the last time I did guiding bolt, you said something about advantage on next attack or something.
Yes.
Was that
about that.
any attack towards it or just my own?
I think it was isn't it melee attacks for guiding bolt? Like,
I don't
double check here. Let me double check here. No, the next attack roll made against the target. I completely forgot about that.
Oops.
We'll say, because I've missed it, that for this one we'll give you advantage.
Okay. So, yes, guiding bolt at level 4.
Okay, guiding bolt at level 4 is a d20 plus 8, please.
Much better.
28, that will hit. Go ahead and roll 7d6 of radiant damage, please. 22 points to numeral 4. Describe your killing blow.
She focuses her energy, stares straight at the creature, which I'm assuming is glaring either at her or at the phoenix. I'm not
It's
sure which.
currently glancing over at the phoenix.
Okay. And she'd like to do a very shrill whistle to catch its attention as she points straight at it, right towards its face, between its eyes, and fires the guiding bolt straight through its eyes.
As you... It just kind of glances over to you and you let loose the guiding bolt. Focus the beam as much as you can as it just... If anything, like Nestari, from where you are glancing over to it, it almost looked as if it missed. And as it kind of... As the violet radiant energy kind of slowly dissipates, you see a very small hole that has burned clean through its skull to the other side as it drops to its knees and then collapses to the floor, and the life leaves it as it is now dead.
Very Dragon Ball.
And let's see, I still have what?
Death beam.
10 more feet of movement?
You do, yes.
Okay. Then I'm gonna have her step back 10 feet.
Okay.
There.
With that, we'll move on to Nestari. It's your turn in initiative.
Okay, that magic's pretty good. I'm just gonna do the same thing again.
Okay.
Move up.
Sorry?
I move up one space.
Yep. And cast your sunbeam.
Yep.
Cool. Yep. DC 14 for the two of them. The first one, number 3, that's a save. Second one, the farthest one, fails. So Sunbeam, Clasp save half damage and isn't blinded. Cool. So at the start of your turn, the top one is no longer blinded. The bottom one is no longer blinded, or that's the wrong one, but go ahead and roll your 68 of Ray. You already know that's, never mind, that's talents. You go ahead and roll your 68 of radiant damage, as this guy here is now blinded. That's 23 points to number 1. Drops down to that, and number 3 takes 23 half, rounding down is 11. Drops it down to that much health. As you basically sidestep 5 feet and let loose another sunbeam, the first one, knowing what to expect from an attack made from yourself, raises its hands up to its eyes and manages to avoid the blinding nature of the attack. The farthest one away, not realizing what's about to happen, glances over to you as there's just a sudden flash of light to its side, and it strikes it in its face, and the energy just completely blinding it. Anything else?
Sorry for everyone I blinded last time. Richmond, it's good to see you back. But
yeah, Richmond, you're also no longer blind.
No hard feelings, mate?
Oh, there you are. No hard feelings there.
Okay, with that, we move on to Temple's turn in initiative.
Cool. Physiologically speaking, does this creature have a face?
It does, yes. It has a very devilish-looking, almost draconic-looking face. Kind of like, think a xenomorph. The top of its skull kind of curves down. It's a very smooth face to its front, where it has two large, kind of lime green eyes that are glaring at you. Two very, very loud and pronounced nostrils, and very, very large, pointed, sharp teeth.
Cool. So I'm gonna cast 10th level Great Act of a Face.
Go ahead and cast your melee wizard casts punch as you make your attack, and go for it. Yeah, my melee wizard casts fist. You have advantage on the attack with your great axe.
Oh, do I? Okay,
yes, it is blinded, so it has disadvantage on attacks, and attacks made against it have advantage.
The poor kid, and I'll need to think about what kind of divine strike will go along with this.
That's an 80. That just hits for 8 points of damage. Divine Smite.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to do third level because it looked nasty at me earlier, and that you know, I don't like that.
Cool. 4d8, please. And go ahead and roll d6 for me as well, please. So 8 plus 15 is 23, plus 6 is 29 points of damage. Drops down to that much health. As the first strike with that negative light of Nerul flashing from the blade of your great axe as you drive it down across its side. It kind of just kind of tries to look around, like trying to sense out where you are. The blood now flowing freely from the wound. You see the ice kind of like billow out from the wound, but it slowly melts away as the violet-looking blood just flowing. It freely flows from the wound. It's not able to stop it.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Green Man. I'm so sorry, but I actually cast Great Axe to the face, not Great Axe to the side. So I'm gonna have to do that again.
Go ahead. It's an advantage again. 24, that will hit for 13. Divine Smite.
Yes, please. I'm going to do this one at a second level, please.
That'll be 3d8. 16, that's 29, add a d6. It's 30 points of damage. Drops it down to that. As you bring your great axe down, aiming for its face, but it manages to kind of step back, kind of sensing which direction you're coming from. The blade just manages to strike down from its clavicle down to its gut. The wound opening quite deep, blood freely pouring out of it. Kind of almost drops to a knee and just. You can hear the weakness in its voice as it's trying to stay standing. It looks just really badly injured.
Just with ecstasy and with joy. Richmond, we need to get one of these for our base. They're so good for training. They're so resilient.
Oh, I quite like the colour as well.
Okay. Okay, hold on.
Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Very quickly go over my yeah, you know, I'm gonna cast I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith on Talar because she's had a little bit of a. They don't seem to like her, these creatures.
Okay, Shield of Faith.
Yes. Yes, so that's a +2 AC at the
Plus
cost
2
of one
to
first
AC.
level spell slot.
Yes, cool. So, Talar, I will give you a Shield of Faith. I don't know why, but my Chrome is being really laggy at the moment. Probably because I've got like 30 tabs open for all the different.
Jeez.
stuff that's
That
going on.
couldn't possibly be the reason why.
I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 character sheets open and 2 tabs of YouTube for fucking ambient music at the moment. So I'm gonna close them off as well. Hopefully that'll even things out. Okay, cool. Moving onwards, that moves on to the creature's turns. The first creature is going to swing out wildly at you, Temple, as it makes an attack with its longsword. Since it can't see you, it can't cast a spell. Temple, can you go ahead and roll me an attack, please?
Sure. Big number, big.
I think you might have hit it in the face that time.
It swings out wildly with its long sword. You kind of just like step back and just look at it like, why? As it can't see you as it's trying to attack, and then swings out and completely loses its balance and drops to its knees just to the side of you. And with that, in that moment, you just, I'm ending this, and bring down your great axe of frostbane onto it. The blade sinks deep through its neck, and you just watch as its head tumbles off of its shoulders, rolling away from you, and the ice kind of billows up at its neck and then slowly melts as there's just a couple of gouts of this violet blood seeps from its neck before it collapses down to all floors and dies from its own fucking natural one. With disadvantage, I rolled a 19, which still would have hit, and a 1. Okay, so that one's dead, and that was just enough to kill it.
Harry gets credit for that, really, with the blinding.
The second one is going to move over to here. To you, Nithari. And I would also like you to roll me a wisdom saving throw. I'm pretty sure it was at advantage. I've gone a bit too far. There we go. Yes, a wisdom saving throw it's at advantage. Don't worry about it though. That's 16. You'll save that. That's fine. As the second one kind of glares over, like rushes over to you and glares at you. Its eyes going dark and just Again, Richmond and Talar, you hear it call it infernal. You will fight for me. As its eyes kind of glaze back over to that lime green color, you just look at it. No. It just kind of looks a little concerned as it stupidly ran up to you and then cast a spell. The third one, that's no longer blinded, is going to strike out at you, Victorless. The first one with the longsword is going to be an unnatural 20 to hit.
That hits.
Cool, that is a d8 plus 1, that's 3 points of slashing damage.
Roger.
And then the second attack, that is a 25 to hit for 2d8 plus 3, that's 5. 11 plus 3, that's 14 points of piercing damage. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
15.
15. That will fail as you then take 8 points of poison damage, and you are now poisoned. As you've experienced this before, like from the previous attack made against you, but this time you're just not able to shrug off the poison as you feel the liquid fire just begin to flow through your veins. With that, it's going to move on to your turn.
Well, that's made me very unhappy indeed. I'm going to slash out with my short sword at this guy right in front of me.
Cool, let me just quickly double check poisoned again. This is why I need my DM screen near me so I can...
Is it this?
Disadvantage
on this?
Yeah, disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. Uh, 21 still hits. As you strike at it for 9 points of damage, go ahead and roll your d6 and your d8 Colossus Slayer. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points of damage to numero tres. 14 drops it down to that much. As you trying to fight through the poison flowing through your veins, you still manage to direct your blade and strike out at it. Your next attack.
I'll take a second attack.
Disadvantage again. 15. That one will miss. As you're about to swing it with your second strike, but there's a sudden flash of pain as the poison now starts to seep deep into the core of your body, your form, and you just kind of just double over in pain, trying unable to strike out as the pain just seeps over for a few moments.
I'm going to try and swipe my sword back across his body with my bonus attack.
Oh, unarmed, go ahead. Your unarmed, your offhand strike. Yeah, go ahead and roll your attack. Again at disadvantage.
Oh, it was a natural 20.
It's without any modifiers either, so unfortunately it's just 1 point of damage.
And then just 1d6 to add to that.
Yeah, so then 2, that drops it down to that much. Okay, anything else you'd like to do?
I'm just going to move myself around it slightly and move to that side of it.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm going to stay exactly where I am.
Okay.
Right, that'll end my Ember turn then.
No problem. And Coralina, it is your turn in initiative.
Alright, I think seeing as we're slowly whittling down numbers, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna place a spell out here. Oh, you're not gonna let me do it? Nope, I was on the wrong thing because I'm dumb. Alright, so right here.
Okay.
I'm going to conjure elemental.
Okay. What elemental are you conjuring?
An earth elemental.
Earth elemental.
Yes.
I don't have a token for this. Damn it. Earth element.
Homework for the DM. Go find elemental tokens for wizard.
That'll do. Hey. And it was here, right?
Right here.
Yeah, cool.
It
And
exists in a 10-foot cube.
Yep, 2 seconds. It's currently controlled by Coralina, and it exists in a 10-foot cube. And we'll say you conjure it just there.
Alright, I want it more like...
Or you want it more like...
Yeah, I was more like here. But it won't exist like in half measures, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It doesn't
So,
exist
right
in
there.
half measures. Cool.
And I would like to order it to attack in primordial.
Cool.
Yin Xin.
Where the hell is it? Because I actually do have this somewhere. Dragon, because there we go. No, apparently of all the monster cards that I have, Earth Elemental is not one that is there for some stupid reason. Or it's in the wrong pile. Hold on, let me just take a look here. Hell Giant Garbo. Nope, there it goes. For some stupid reason, water, air, and fire elementals are all really big cards. But an Earth Elemental is that big. It's a really small one, even though it's still a CR5 monster. So
This is my baby card.
it's a baby card. But I have my monster card, so I have its stats. Cool. So you're ordering it to attack, yes?
Yes.
Which target are you having it attack?
We'll go for this guy.
The weaker looking one? Cool. So
Yeah.
it's going to slam down with its fist. 2 slam attacks against it. So that will be that's a miss. That's a natural 20. For 2d8 plus 5. Where's my d8? So 4d8 plus 5. That's 5. 12. 14. 15 plus 5, that's 20 points of damage. How do you want your Earth Elemental to do this?
I want him to squish him dead.
Cool. You summon, you kind of like point over to the ground and then just like raise your hand up. And as you guys look over to where she pointed, the ground just kind of billows up and a humanoid looking form just coalesces there. It glances over its shoulder at Coralina, and you said primordial, yeah?
Yes.
Primordial, cool. Sorry, just taking a look here, and I'm pretty sure. Yes, Victorilas, you're the only one that actually can actually glance over to Coralina as what did you actually say to it in primordial? Because you did say something, which I
said
didn't
attack
understand.
it.
Just attack it.
Yin
Yin Tian. Yin Tian. That sounds like Chinese.
I am actually using a translator for primordial.
Translator, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's like Chinese or something like that. That primordial is based off of.
That's how I'm pronouncing it.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, no, you hear her command this this elemental. It turns around with both of its fists and just slams down, and the creature just kind of looks up and just and crunch. But its body just collapses in on itself, and you just see a kind of pool of purple liquid just seep out from underneath your elemental's fists. Just as its fists just kind of rise back up, just blood and ichor sticking to its hands, and you just watch it go as it just kind of whaps the blood and gore away. Victoria, as you just glance down at this crumpled mess that was once a creature that is now just bone and gore and torn skin and scales, that is just a mess in front of you.
First fart monsters and now shit monsters.
Okay. Is
so
there anything else you'd like to do on your turn, Coralina?
Can I make eye contact with Neftari?
Yes, you may.
I look at him for a minute, and then I brush a little bit of imaginary dust off my left shoulder. Wizard flex.
No problem. With that, top of the round, Richmond, it's your turn.
Oh, right. So I can see again.
You can see now, yes.
This.
That is a dead body that Neftari has pecked the eye out of and ate.
Oh, classy. Right.
Yes, very classy.
Move 15 feet to there if I can.
Yep. Yeah, no, you can. Yep. The overhang that you see here, that is actually like, it is an overhang. It's not like a pillar that extends all the way down, so you can get underneath that and move along to there.
Okay. And I shall bonus action move my hex to this guy over here.
Okay.
And I shall
hexed.
blasts in its general direction.
Cool. Go ahead and launch your 3 Eldritch Blasts. .28 will hit for 6. 27 will hit for 10. So that's 16. And then 22 will hit for another 6. So that is 22 points. 32 points plus your hex. Great. 32. Drops it into that much health. And are you repelling it back?
And as tempting as it is to send it straight into Neftari, drain myself.
Okay. As you just build up the eldritch energy in your hands and let the 3 blasts loose, all of them colliding into the back of this creature as it's kind of as it's like slowly stepping away from the tie and just and turns around and glares at you.
I flinch anyway, seeing the Eldritch Blast coming towards the monster.
Oh, okay, I'm okay.
He's gonna come crashing into me.
Anything else you'd like to do on your turn, Richmond?
Cower behind Katerina.
No problem. As you kind of like just take another side step and just sit behind the light blue
Tiny
looking
wizard.
individual and just
Just
kind of
like
hunch
Oh,
down
crouch
behind
and
her.
alert
Hi.
kind of thing.
Why does it look like I have 2 other people cowering behind me?
Oh, I'm not cowering.
The
I'm
way of a
making-
paladin.
Next up, Talar. It's your turn in initiative.
Alrighty then. What do I got? Where is it? Okay, I'm going to do what that one's. 4th level healing word on myself.
Okay, if it wants to pop up, 4th level healing word. That will be 4d4 plus 4. To yourself.
4 plus 4, 4, 4, 4.
16 points of healing. As
Okay.
the kind of a violet, soft violet glow from Taloon flows through your body and starts to close up the fresh wounds that you've received.
And finally, 6th level guiding bolt right to the final guy's face.
6th level guiding bolt. Okay, go ahead and roll your d20 plus
Hopefully.
8. If this misses, that will be fucking... Okay, that's alright.
That's
23.
not a miss.
That is... I'll tell you if it's a miss or not, but no, it's not a miss. That'll be 9d6 of radiant damage, please. Lots of ones, lots of ones, lots of ones. That's a lot of ones!
I got a few 6s.
Yeah, 27 points. Drops down to that much health. As with the other creature, you kind of focus the beam as the soft violet radiant energy just emits from your finger as you point towards it. It just strikes it in the chest, doing the damage, and the soft glow just now flows from the creature as it's just kind of glances around at all of you and is now weighing up its options. I'll give it a pink one.
And her wings kind of flex out a little bit, and she just has this look of determination on her face, and she's still holding the item next to her chest, and that's about all she can do at this point.
No problem. Neftari, it is your turn in initiative.
Okay. Consider smacking it with his club. I mean, what the hell? I've still got more of this sunbeam stuff. And just reaches out and
just point blank sunbeam.
Yeah, look what I have in my hand.
Okay. It's 6d8 and a con save of 14. Which I think it fails. It's plus... Yes, it fails. So it's going to take 26 points of radiant damage. That much health. As it is now blinded. As it turns to you and says, "Hey, what's this?" And lift your hand up to its face. It just looks at you confused for a moment before there's a blinding flash of light right in its face, and it kind of and just hand to its eye, waving its free hand ahead of it, just not able to see anything.
I was going to go more into cool. I figured this thing's still really dangerous. I'm actually a little scared. It's right next to it.
So what are you going to do, sorry? You were cutting out there, kind of.
Actually a little scared of this thing. The amount of damage it's taken.
So what are you going to do?
I'm going to back away.
Okay. Alright, you back away. And like it can sense your presence and hear the crunch of the grass and the twigs under your foot as you take a step away, and just swings out at you wildly, but completely misses. Anything else you'd like to do in your turn?
No.
Nope. Cool. Sorry?
No.
No. Temple, it's your turn in initiative.
Excellent. I'm having a wonderful time. It's just a little bit too far away from me. What's the current state, health-wise, of the remaining what's-a-majigit green man?
It's taken some hits. It's like there's blood kind of flowing from its mouth and some of the wounds that are on its body. It's still standing, but it doesn't look like it can take much more.
Okay, can I do a dash to this position.
Not like that. The earth elemental is in the way.
Oh, you're right. To this position. Can I do a dash?
You could most certainly do that, yeah.
Yes, excellent. And let's just see how the gods feel about this.
Okay, so what are you doing now? You're on top of the creature, basically.
I mean, I was hoping that my bull's charge towards it would do something. I don't have time for an attack, so I'm just charging into it.
Roll me a flat... actually, no. Yeah, roll me a flat d20. No modifiers, nothing, just a flat d20.
20.
Oh yeah.
I knew this was gonna fucking happen.
Whenever I do something. Charge!
Roll me... Roll me a d12 plus 7.
Plus on this keyboard. 1d12 plus 7.
And roll me a d6. As you pull your great axe into you and start sprinting at the creature, you stop right. You get right up to it and actually collide with the creature. The blade, although you don't swing at it, the blade still sinks into the creature's chest as you push it back 10 feet. Sorry, 5 feet. Sorry, I'm just having to move you out of the way so I can actually move the correct token. You push it back 5 feet, the blade sinking in, doing 8 points of damage and 3 points of cold damage as the ice particles now billow upon its chest. That's going to be your turn, I'm afraid, at that. You only got that because of the natural 20.
Couldn't have gone better.
Fucking hate you. With that, it gets to the creature's turn. What's it going to do here, actually? As it kind of like still not really able to see, it kind of like almost turns on the spot, and Richmond and Talar, you hear it in Infernos go, "My lord, I require assistance." As it turns around and just lifts its hand up, and just to its right, and just over here, there is a crimson red portal that then flits into existence.
DM, is that a spell?
It is a spell,
I
but
would like to attempt a counter spell if I may.
I will allow you to attempt a counter spell. However, it is not casting it. I will say that. So, I would like you.
Sorry, I missed that.
The creature itself is not casting the spell. The spell is coming from someplace else. So
is it
let
within
me
60 feet of me? Because if it's not, then I can't cast.
no. Let me just. We're just doing this for a little bit of flair here. Counter spell is 5th level, right? Well, or yeah, it's 5th level. Or you're casting it at 5th level, right?
It always is the maximum level, yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's your warlock thing. It's everything's at max level. That's great.
DM, I don't know how you want to rule this, but if I can assess that the gentleman cowering behind me is attempting to counterspell, could I possibly assist being arcane and also having counterspell, or I don't know if you want to
I
roll that or
will-
you just want to let him do it.
I will, if you want to use your reaction as well to make an attempt at a counter spell, I will allow you to attempt a counter spell as well. Not assist.
I'll crank it level 5.
At 5th level. Cool. I would like both of you to roll me Richmond, you'll be a d20 plus 5. Coralina, you will be a d20 plus 7. As you both watch the spell, the portal flit up into existence, you both make an attempt at a counter spell.
Racia.
Richmond, your counter spell has no effect. The portal, as the origin of the actually both of your counter spells have no effect. As the origin of the spell, because it isn't from the creature itself, you have no means of actually countering the cast. So the portal flits up into existence. The creature takes a step towards it. Temple, you will get an attack of opportunity.
Absolutely. Shall I roll that?
Go ahead and roll an attack of opportunity against the creature. You will have advantage because...
Oh, okay. Shall I just roll it again then?
Roll one more roll again in case you get a critical, because you rolled a 19 there. If it's not a critical, we're just taking the highest damage, like the it's not. So you're do 8 points of slashing damage. Roll your 6 points of your d6 of cold damage as well, please. That's 8 plus 6. That's 14 points. As it drops to that much health, as you strike it across its back, it kind of tumbles forward and rolls through the portal, vanishing before the portal vanishes as the creature completely disappears.
Coward!
Well, that could have gone better.
You are now no longer in initiative.
Okay, I'm going to run at Richmond and give him a hug.
Well,
Oh, not again. Oh, put me
Coralina,
down.
Coralina, can I just ask this this turd monster?
It's not a shit monster!
You can control this thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm just gonna move.
Let me
as
just
far away
quickly
from possible.
take a look at Conjure Elemental here.
I love it. Does it arm wrestle?
I ask it in Primordial, do you arm wrestle?
2 seconds. I'm just reading something here.
Just 2nd level lesser restoration on Victoralis.
Ah, you
He's
beat me
ki-
to it.
He's kind of more bound to my service, so I usually call on him and other ones like him to when I need help.
Okay, yeah, no,
Yeah,
your,
but when
your
they get
concentration
rogue,
hasn't been broken,
dies.
so it's still it's still under your control. It still follows your commands, and as you turn to it and ask it in Primordial if it arm wrestles, it just looks at you, just tilts his head at you, not understanding what you've asked it.
I think that's a no. I don't think that's a sport over in the Terran plains.
Can we grapple
Yeah,
and
that's fine, Richard.
test that strength? It's such a strong beast. I want to see how strong it is.
Okay, are you going to make an attempt to grapple it, Temple?
May I? May I? It's your.
He's
creature.
kind of a servant that'd really look bad on my family if I just let you manhandle him.
Oh.
I will approach the Earth Elemental and tell it in Primordial. I'm basically thank you for assisting me, and I will dismiss him.
Okay.
Maybe next time, mighty friend.
Victorilas, you understand what she said. Everyone else, she just says something in a language that you don't understand. The elemental turns to you Coralina, and then just again tilts its head at you, looking confused at what you said, before it then dissipates into the ground, because elementals don't speak primordial.
Huh.
I'm just gonna let
Fair
you
enough.
that know now, like out of character. Elementals don't speak
Fair
primordial.
As it tumbles into the ground, I'm going to very politely say blah, 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 in gibberish.
It just sinks into the ground and just vanishes.
That's funny. What the hell? They just speak dialects of primordial, don't they? How are you ruling this? Because I think they speak like, I think for that one in particular it speaks like Terran, I think.
It's Terran, but Terran and primordial are two different languages.
Coralina's gonna love this. I'm going to stomp on and crush the head of this creature.
Oh,
just,
God.
Oh, one moment.
If it hasn't already
while I'm ruling this, what were you about to say there, Coralina?
Oh, I just thought it was, like I said, I just thought, Orin and, Infernal, or not Infernal, but like,
and like, Terran and stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought that was all under dialects primordial. That's my bad.
You know what? Let's take a look at this, actually.
It's pretty good magic, I suppose.
Terran, Forgotten Realms. Languages, creatures, the elemental plane of Earth, otherwise related to Earth in some way. Many Earths or Genasi learn language as well. When written, it used the Death X script. Yeah, let me take a look here. Elementals, yeah, that's in the Forgotten Realms wiki. Yeah, it also is primordial. It was also considered a language family, so that the elemental languages, Arguin, Orin, Ignin, and Terran, were considered a group of dialects of primordial. They were sufficiently similar that creatures who understood one of those dialects could understand the others as well. Okay, no, fair enough. I will actually retcon that it does understand you, because I thought primordial, like primordial, Arguin, Orin, Ignin, and Terran were all different languages. That is my mistake. So I will I will keep that in mind for future. So Arguin, Orin, Ignin, and Terran are all dialects.
You mean I could have asked that floating fart cloud to just not hit me?
You could have tried to, yes, but whether it did or not, that would have been a different fucking question.
Myself and Talar both tried to heal Vic.
Tried to heal who? Victorious?
Less restoration.
I moved up to him with the intent to cast Lesser Restoration.
Okay. Someone call heads or tails. We'll see who does this.
Heads.
Tails.
Well, between Talar and Natari.
I say tails.
Heads and
Tails it is. Talar gets it.
Richmond's just gone in that corner for a pee. For a tinkle.
Richmond, you can cast Healing Hands on yourself for 12 HP.
Yeah, I've done it.
Cool.
I'd like to cast 3rd level Cure Wounds on myself as well, if possible.
Cool. You're no longer poisoned, and go ahead and cast your 3rd level Cure Wounds.
While we're chilling out for a minute, I'm gonna do a ritual, Find Familiar for Sir Barkley to return to my shoulder.
Yeah. I forgot about Sir Barkley when you cast your
That's okay. I didn't use him, so there you go.
Yeah, so he was always up there, but then he
was with me in spirit.
You cast your Find Familiar, and Sir Barkley, like after the 10-minute ritual, drops down onto your shoulder and just gives you a light nibble on your ear, and then fluffs up his feathers and looks around very.
I know. I'm sorry, but look, I know how you feel about the earth elementals. They aren't the best to talk to, but they were helpful.
And your magic's pretty good, I suppose.
Victoralis, would you mind beheading the other two bodies?
Hey, wait, let me have a look.
You're making an attempt at crunching the head of the creature that's before you.
Yes, and I'm hoping Victoralis and Neftara will do the same. Because
Go ahead and roll me
not find out the hard way.
Strength check. 19. Yeah, with you just crouch down and with all your might launch up into the air, bring up your knees to your chest, and as you're closing down on the head, just kind of kick out, and with as much force as you can. Coralina, you look over as Temple, the man of metal, just completely destroys, like a sledgehammer to watermelon, bursts open the skull of this creature that is just before him. Its brain matter, skull, and scales just scatter everywhere.
Oh, who's the guy with the giant mallet? That's what I'm thinking of.
Myriad.
I'm just, whatever. I'm thoroughly disgusted.
I'd like to try and pick through the mess and see if we can find any, nice teeth or fangs or anything.
Oh, goodness me.
Go ahead and roll me a survival check.
Is Neftari going to eat it now?
Yeah, he normally takes a taste.
Neftari, I was more thinking of just stopping them being resurrected. Never mind. Your dinner.
You managed to find a piece of this jaw that has a couple of intact teeth on it.
Pocket them.
Pocket them? No problem.
I go over to some of the more intact heads and just look for, nice fangs and things. And
yeah, no, you're able to collect. I'll say you're able to collect a couple of the talons from their hands and a couple of intact teeth from their jaws.
Coralina, are you shocked by what I just did?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. We come from a land where everything that dies gets back up. So this is kind of the only way to be sure. And I'm going to walk over to the body, although I'm going to inspect the person before I behead them.
Yeah, I'm busy inspecting it. That's what I've been doing. I want to figure out, is this the same guy that we interrogated, or is this someone completely different?
This is someone completely different. This is someone you've never seen before. He looks like he has a backpack on him that's filled with what looks to be traveling gear. He just looks to be someone who is making their way from the south to Stilben.
Does anybody know what these things are? Does anybody know what these things are?
What things?
Things
that we just meet up?
It's green thing.
I could look. What do you want me to roll DM?
2 seconds, actually. In Coralina's travels, since she's gone out and about, would she have had any encounters with any kind of devils?
I wouldn't think so. Just because she was just trying to keep a low profile to dodge bounty hunters, but...
then in this case, you won't. I won't have you roll anything. You have no idea what these things are.
Okay.
Is there anything we can do
Coralina?
to maybe...
I'm kind of stumped. I have no idea what these are.
Richmond, as you're there in the corner, you hear the guys having their discussion, and you know full well what these things are. If Richmond's still
yes,
there he is.
No one's speaking to me, so I'm just going to sit in the corner and look enigmatic.
Cool. I'm going to pick up what's left of this one and drag it over to Richmond.
In the meantime, I'd like to cast 3rd level Cure Wounds on myself.
Cool. Go right ahead and do so. That's 3d8 plus 4, I think, for you, Tamar, was it?
Richmond, I brought you a gift.
Take it away, it's ghastly.
What is it?
Okay, so Richmond,
dragon demons.
this Richmond is a green Abishai. It is a Abishai was once a mortal who somehow won Tiamat's favor, before death, and as a reward, found its soul transformed into a hideous devil to serve at her pleasure in the 9 hells. A green Abishai is the envoy of Tiamat's armies. Green Abishai represent the gods interested in the 9 hells and beyond. Their keen senses make them adept at discovering secrets and other sensitive information, while their diplomatic skills and their magic ensure they can manipulate even the shrewdest opponents. So they're essentially humanoids that have gained Tiamat's favor, and she has transformed them into these draconic-looking devils to serve her in the 9 hells. You have actually been asked by Fierna to hunt these creatures down as she attempts to expand her influence in the 9 hells.
Yes, I've been sent to many strange places and seen unspeakable things, and now
Ooh, speak about them.
I can't speak the unspeakable.
Oh. Oh well.
Tell us, are they edible? Oh,
I think you'll find it very, very edible for you.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Did Richmond tell me about the stuff that you just got explained?
I'm going to assume that after what I just said, you kind of relayed that to Temple. Richmond.
Yes, no problem.
Yeah, cool. So yes, he relayed that all that to you.
Neftari
Neftari,
would have loved killing these.
and Neftari, are you going to make an attempt at eating the thing?
oh yes.
Go ahead. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
You may want to sprinkle a little bit of soil on top for flavour. They taste better that way.
10. As you sink your teeth into it, you manage to tear a chunk away, chew it away quite a thing. Coralina, you look on.
Oh god.
Talar and Victorilas is looking over like, not again. Talar's just like, oh goddess, and just like fingers
Face
up
palming.
to face palming, just oh my god, not again. And you're just turn away as Neftari legit just sinks his teeth into this fresh corpse and just tears a
Does
chunk
he
out
always
of it.
do that?
Yeah, he always does that.
Unfortunately.
Neftari, as you munch away on this green Abishai, at first you think doesn't taste too bad, it's a bit chewy, and then the poison seeps into your body.
I'm immune to poison and disease now.
Are you now immune to poison and disease? You are.
Man, that's the ultimate power for Neftari.
Oh yeah, Druid,
God,
you're
the demon
immune
is
to
unleashed.
charm, disease, fright, and poison, and the poisoned condition. So yeah, no, as the poison just starts to seep into you, you just think, comes with its own flavoring, and just keep munching into the massive chunk.
Getting high.
Coralina's gonna go and get behind the biggest creature that's nearby. That would be Talar.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, she's gonna put distance between her and Neftari right now. That's disturbing.
Sorry about our friend. He's just a bit of a literal animal.
Yeah.
Talar kind of spreads her wings out a little bit to help shield our new person from this grossness.
I
Neftari,
find it's good to hide in corners after a while, Coralina.
Can I just make sure this creature's been fully beheaded with my great
okay, Temple, wait.
Okay,
Let's just Neftari.
I've already raised my axe into the air, and I'm like, oh, that stopped.
I'm gonna move over. I'm gonna take my short sword, and I'm gonna take the head off this thing, so we've got proof of what we've killed.
Of the this one here, yeah.
Yep.
I could have done that. And
Yeah, no need for squishing. Let's keep the head.
No, the great
let
axe
this city
stopped
need to
it.
know what's outside their gates.
And
Okay.
kept it icy cold.
As you walk over to it, you kind of grab it by the frill on it, the fleshy frill that's on its head, and just clean slice, take its head clean off. The purple, the violet blood just kind of seeps down onto the ground. You just hold it by the frill of its head. Its eyes now kind of glassed over. Richmond. As you're in the corner, you hear a voice speak out to you from the ether, and after a moment of concentration, you actually hear Fierna call out to you from the hells. My champion, you've done so well. Now, return to me.
Very well, and I'll pop
We
it
will
back and
continue.
I'll strike a pose and disappear into the wall.
Well, just a second. Now, as you guys have finished dealing with the Abishai, you all turn around and glance over to Richmond, who's taken a couple of steps forward towards you before he kind of his expression just drops as he looks to his side. And he looks up to you with he has a solemn look on his face as a vermilion red portal appears on the wall next to him. Richmond glances over to it and gives you all a very slow nod before he steps into the portal.
I'd like to make every effort to follow him.
Wait, no, come back.
As the moment Richmond has stepped through the portal vanishes. As you rush up to the wall, Temple, you kind of stop and put your kind of reach your hands over the wall, hoping that it would reappear, but the portal is gone, and Richmond unfortunately fades from the party once more.
Well, he seemed nice.
It was
Nice to have
great.
you back for a bit.
Yeah.
Well, he's always been a mysterious chap.
You better come
obviously-
back soon.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Deus Ex Machina and all that. Right, Vic, what we doing with this one? Also,
Well-
I call you Vic. I've never called you that. King.
It's fine. Cool. Oh, I'm used to it now. It matters not. Netari, you quite done chewing on that body?
Yeah, does anybody want any tea for talons
I
or
just-
anything as decoration for themselves? Trophies?
Oh my word.
I think I'm fine.
What?
Take whatever you need, Netari, and we'll be on our way.
Coralina can probably see that Neftari's cape and armor is adorned with
No,
various
it
types
is not.
of
Where is
Because-
the case?
Because he hasn't
Because
got
he
it.
doesn't have it, because he's left it with the tailor as she's trying to enchant it with pockets of holding.
We need to get back to the tailor. I've got some more trinkets to be sewn into my cape.
We've also got a little dwarf that we need to have a word with, so maybe we should get on with that as well.
Yeah, what's this dead guy though? And what if
I'm
who do
gonna
you think he was, and where's he going? Have a look for his pockets, see if there's anything valuable. Oh, I mean, let's go into tell us where he was.
I'll take his
Alright.
backpack off him, I'll hand it to Netari, and I'm going to sling him over my shoulder and ready to carry him back into town.
Okay.
Is there
And-
Lord,
anything
take-
we can do to ensure that this doesn't resurrect in the hands of its family?
You've not yet once come across anyone who has resurrected. This guy has been dead for quite some time, and he has not reanimated.
I don't think that happens here yet.
I'll take democracy, but for all we know, we're spreading it, or the curse is following us. I don't know, and I don't know that we can be sure.
Well, it's
So-
okay. If he turns into a zombie, we can kill zombies easy.
I'll yield
Only
to the
you.
popular vote. He looks pretty dead. As long as he plans on staying that way, I guess it's.
And
Okay,
we will
fuck
find
it.
out next time on
On
Dragon
Dragon
Ball Z. as we slowly and very abruptly, unfortunately, bring this session to a close.
And I was going to have Talar check on her egg.
Good to see you, Mark.
Mark, very
nice.
nice.
Yes,
I enjoyed that.
Thank you for coming back for that. I hope everyone was
you.
pleasantly surprised by
fuck yes.
Richmond's temporary return.
Yeah.
Please come back again soon.
I will. I'm off next week, so I can stay if friends want to tonight, you see.
Oh, maybe. Who knows?
Yes. Good to see you
New
all.
friend, is Coralina a character name or a real name?
Coralina is a character.
You haven't asked for names.
No.
Yeah, actually, not at any point have
I was actually
Joga?
gonna just ask for names before you cut off. Can we at least do a proper introduction for me?
Yeah, we know we'll do that. We can go in character.
Okay.
You guys can go through your introductions before we.
Coralina is Sena Idra of House Ramiel, heiress to the great Jin Ikala.
Holy crap.
It's
Okay then.
easy for you to say.
Well, Richmond, you've probably got to get off before anyone else, so...
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm not working tomorrow, so no worries.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Well...
Anyone else want to introduce themselves to the new character?
I'm
Temple, the 7-foot-tall, 500-pound hulking beast in front of you, appears to be a very weighty suit of armor, but on closer inspection, there's no one wearing that suit of armor, and neither is it hollow.
And could I actually give you?
I have character. I'm gonna try to find a way to get in that fucking suit of armor.
Roll me a intelligence check, please, Coralina, and see if you can figure this out.
Meanwhile, Temple is a paladin. Typically, is either holding a sword and shield or the great big great axe on the back of him.
Is it just a straight up intelligence?
Yeah, straight up intelligence. 16. You hadn't really given it much thought until like on the closer inspection realized that it's not actually a man in a suit. You've heard stories of the Warforged, beings that have been brought to life by magical energy, that are essentially just magic infused metal and wood. Never actually come across one before, so this would be a first.
Temple is almost entirely a type of metal.
I'd like to approach and attempt to like just rap on the chest of Temple at the moment. Is it hollow? Does it ring?
In my usual manner, I do not animate whatsoever. I'm completely still.
So, Coralina just walks in and just... It's not hollow.
Fascinating.
Fascinating indeed. Oh, and also I have face paint on that kind of matches Richmond's face paint, but it's badly drawn on. It kind of looks like a smile, but it's probably worn down quite a bit.
Oh, it's worn quite a bit, 'cause it's been a while since you've reapplied it.
Oh, and a gigantic flamboyant hat. I completely forgot about that.
And
we're
your
all
cloak.
wearing capes. Yeah.
And your cloak.
I'll go next, shall I?
Woo!
Victoris. He's a Marcus Shadow Elf. He's kind of average size, tall. He's a bit more well built than most elves you'll probably find. Yeah, dark hair, dark skin. He's got a fantastic cloak. I mean, his cape is the finest of capes because
It's smashing.
It's smashing. It really is. Cape of smashing.
It's
Because
cloak of smashing.
Well, this is a cape of smashing.
Oh, yeah, but the reference is a cloak of smashing.
And yeah, these
shiny.
people keep calling him king and prince and stuff for some reason. Because he comes from a place called Denfasari where his dad's like the lord.
May I insight check to see if I would recognize him as some sort of nobility?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeet.
Yeet. 12. He carries himself as like a nobleman would. The way, like, his tone of voice, the way he speaks, carries a hint of nobility to it. But you can see in his eyes that upon the mention of Denfasari, his father being a lord, and like, him carrying a title of prince or lord, there's a hint of regret to his eyes when he mentions that.
Did you run away from the Lord life too?
It was kind of taken away from me,
Oh.
and then it came back, and I'm not sure I'm happy about it.
Oh.
We're not done with that thread yet.
No, we're certainly not. I'm gonna go a bit quiet and shy at that point and make
Next
myself
up,
scarce.
in the Caped Crusaders is... I'm gonna gesture my hand out to Talar.
Talar is a pure white, like a snow white scaled Dracovian. If you catch her in the sunlight, her scales kind of emit a slight iridescent look to it. She's wearing the symbol of Saloon, her goddess.
I don't know what that is. You just look like a dragonborn to me.
Yeah, we don't know either.
With a 9, yeah, no, she just looks like a skinnier dragonborn that's mutated a tail and wings.
Okay.
She might even be a winged kobold, for all you know.
God, no.
Hey, you did. Shush, stop. Continue with your introduction, Talar.
Shush you.
Anyway, just shush the DM. Disadvantage all next session. Disadvantage all next session. How dare you?
Right.
How dare you tell the DM to shush?
You gotta tell the DM to shush in a more subtle way by doing something stupid and then rolling a 20.
Or slide across an ice sheet.
Yeah, belly slide across an ice sheet into the feet of 3 frost giants and get fucked.
To a natural 20 and get our... I'm not over that. I will never get over that.
Anyway, so she's not currently wearing chest armor, but she's holding a packet of leather against her chest and looks like she's protecting something, but she doesn't like to talk about it.
And Temple's pretending he hasn't noticed.
But other than that, she's usually very quiet, but lately she's gotten used to her rather unusual friends and has spoken up a little bit more recently.
Well, lastly, we have Neftari.
I am Lord Neftari.
Our mascot.
I will be when he's met Prince of Sorry.
He's saying this as he has another green chunk of Abishai flesh in his hands.
I keep it down better this time. I just throw up a little bit in my mouth.
Well, I'm a druid of the Circle of the Land. I can do loads of magic, as you can tell. And I'm the strongest one here.
I still think I did better.
On the rare occasions that we do actually get him to have a bath, his fur is also quite surprisingly smooth and comfy.
It fluffs
Like
up.
a kitten.
I'm not actually an elf. I can tell you're looking at me like I'm an elf. Not actually sure what I am, but they keep calling me a beast-hide. But...
And Coralina, if you could go ahead and roll me an intelligence check for that, please. 10. You've never really heard of a beast hide. It could be something made up for all you know. It might just be a
he's
nickname.
not one of those weird elves?
No, I'm one of those weird elves. He's
Oh, my bad.
Perhaps the same spell that gave me sapience and intelligence was used on a small cat or ferret or something.
Cat snake.
I think it's ferret.
Anyway, you may call me Lord Neftari.
Well,
you may if you want to, but we don't.
No.
You
You don't
I'd like to mock a deep curtsy. Of course, by 1,000 apologies, Lord Neftari. Please forgive an heiress of a Jinn.
No problem. One day, everybody will call me Lord Neftari.
Oh lord.
Okay.
And we are the Caped Crusaders.
Hey!
Strike Dragon Ball pose now.
Yeah,
Credits,
Ginyu
more
Force pose, go! Ginyu Force, go. And with that, with introductions out the way, and with it just about to hit midnight, we're going to call that a session close. Because people need to go to sleep, because people have work tomorrow. Namely me.
Hey,
I'm tired.
nice one.
That was fun.
Thank you, Scott.
That was no problem.
As always, a fabulous
See you
time.
guys.
See you
I'm
later,
going to
Mark.
go say goodbye and shut everything down on the stream, and I will hopefully catch up with you guys in a few moments. Yes, I'm going to deafen on stream, and I'm going to swap over so you get to see my ugly mug up close. That was fun. That was a good session. It was good to see Richmond back. What we've got here from today is a Contraband gifting Neo ERS a 1 month subscription, and Qzord a 1 month subscription. So Contraband, thank you very much for gifted subs. You guys get to enjoy the use of my one emote of the 8th Dragon Squadron logo, Ubi Concordia, Ubi Victoria, motherfuckers. Where there is unity, there is victory, of course. We should be on schedule next week to continue going as normal. Let me just quickly double check my rota for next week. Yeah, I'm working Sunday, but I will be home before 8, so I should be home in time. I shouldn't have any issues with getting the game up and running. I will most certainly try to get more D&D emotes, Contraband, but being a simple affiliate, I think I only get I get one emote slot. I might have 3. I genuinely don't know, but I think the third one, the second and third one are locked behind subscription tiers. I don't know. We'll see. But I will see if I can get some D&D emotes, like maybe natural 1s, natural 20s, all that sort of shit. But anyway, thank you very much for sticking with us today. I am going to head off here because, again, I have work tomorrow, so I do need to get some sleep. Thank you all very much for sticking by, because I've noticed that we've actually been stuck at a few people watching for most of the session. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back for the 4th episode of Dragons and Dungeons next Sunday at 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time or thereabouts. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will catch you sometime later. If my Steam notification was to get out of my fucking way. Cool. Bye!